Just 2 races remain for drivers to punch their tickets to the L-TAC playoffs. We know guys like Holden McGill, Joseph, and so many more are already locked in, but some spots remain up for grabs in the Sonoran Desert. Welcome to the L-TAC Cup Series on Pit Stop TV. Andrew Cardinale IV with Trey Patton and Andrew Jarvis alongside, and Trey Shuttlesworth on our social media. 156 laps and miles are on the docket this evening as we get set to go from sunny and hot Arizona. We welcome you once again to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter coverage for one of the final opportunities for anyone in this field to fight for a title. First, though, we pivot to the virtual venue this evening, of course, the Phoenix Raceway. It's seen many years of racing, and with it, many years of renovations and upgrades through the decades. In the iRacing.com sim, we still have the pre-2018 configuration, so Trey, help explain a little bit what that means for our drivers this evening.
Those of you that follow NASCAR nowadays, you know that the start-finish line got moved to right out of what you see on the track map now to turn number 2. So the start-finish line's actually moved there now, so what you see now, the front straightaway out of turn number 4. That's where the start-finish line is now. That's what most of us are kind of used to seeing. Honestly, I'm still used to that. I'm still getting used to the new change, but I think it's going to be a little bit different for these guys because they've gotten used. I'd assume most of them have gotten used to the new config, but it's going to be a little bit different, especially trying to dive down on those restarts. You won't see it until we get out of turn 2.
Yeah, right out of turn 2, we go into that dogleg. That dogleg, drivers are allowed to go as low as they want. So we'll see some interesting wides. We could see as many as 4 wide, and it could be a very interesting coming out of turn 2 going into turn 3.
You see the banking on there as well. Of course, the higher banked turns 1 and 2 versus the lower banked turns 3 and 4. What's interesting to me, what's always been interesting to me since this repave in the early to mid 2010s, that's crazy to think about, is the fact that dog leg is banked by 10 to 11 degrees in the actual bend, then 10 degrees on the short shoot down to turn 3. That's always felt like a lot. I don't know why. And then it even flattens out. And I think that's the only racetrack that you'll have that kind of problem where the straightaway is actually higher banked than the corner that you dive down into. I think that is the one time you ever have that problem on an oval racetrack. But it's fun to be here this evening at the Phoenix Raceway. Again, the pre-2018 reconfiguration version thereof. And I mentioned points. We come in this evening after 16 races. Just 2 races remain this evening at Phoenix. And 2 weeks from now, actually, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is how we come in. We've got 7 points, scratch that, 13 points from Rolleveld to Schrauf. And it's common knowledge at this point, Jack B. Ryan and Derek Rolleveld have not shown up for quite a number of races. That opens the door for guys like Ryder Schrauf, guys like Barrick Uphold, even guys like Robert Pattengale to move their way into that top 16, especially, Trey, when we're talking about the fact that Barrick Uphold is not able to fully compete this evening. He will attempt a start and park if he can, but real-life obligations are holding him back.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for guys like Barrick Uphold that are trying to, get up there and get as much points as they can, but that's good for guys like Robert Pattengale, especially for since Rolleveld has not been showing up to some of these races. You see, he's only about 25 points back, so if he gets a pretty consistent finish tonight and next week, he might be able to slot himself a spot on that bubble right there.
Yeah, and as we look farther down, we see that most of the drivers, for majority of the part, are pretty close together, so this race can really make or break your playoff chances. So the drivers will be definitely fighting for every position to get these points and get into those playoffs and punch their tickets into it.
And realistically, we're watching from 10th place on down. The top 9 are pretty well, if not entirely, locked in at this point. We're talking about guys, again, Holden McGill, Joseph, Logan Hamilton, Merrick Watchorn, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Jeremy Berger, Colin Stone, Anthony Masadi, and Grant Peterson. They should all be very well locked in. They've all got over 100 points to the gap. To the cut line. The gap for Jack B. Ryan, though, could get closed. You see, it's only sitting around 60-some points, I think almost 70. That can be closed up on by guys like Ryder Schrauf, Barrick Uphold, if they execute. Now, what will happen if they still do not show in that period of time for Jack B. Ryan and Derek Rolleveld? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and find out here on Pit Stop TV. But so glad you're joining us this evening. Again, from the virtual desert. Look at this place. I've been here a few times in real life, and especially with the new parking lot there right under our rotating blimp, this looks like Phoenix Raceway. I haven't been here in so long, though. Man, it's always refreshing to come back to a track that I consider my home track for so long. We can check into some practice time so far this evening, Trey. You see 8 minutes left in this session. Andrew Navarro, newcomer to the series, is currently fastest. You see he's made an addition there, and he scored as the 22, but he will visually be the 42 with that tiny little 4 there on the left side of the 2. So that little revision is going to be what sets him apart from the 2 car this evening. But you also see Holden McGill as the next fastest. He's the fastest driver that has any starts this season and the fastest driver locked in. We can look a little further down our practice sheet so far. We see Bear Couple, he has turned some laps. Here he is in his King of the Hill Ford Mustang. He's sitting 15th. If he were to run this evening, I think he'd have a decent shot at grabbing a top 10.
Yeah, he's got some decent speed. I mean, early on in practice right now, I mean, we still got another 8 minutes of practice left. I mean, this is just the time to get to know the track. You know, just because you're slow in practice doesn't mean you're going to be slow in qualifying. This could just, like I said, this is just your time to get to feel how the car is going to be, figure out what you're going to do. The track temp may change between now and qualifying. You never know. I mean, so if he's going to try and start in park, you know, I mean, he's got to try to capitalize on as much points as he can, but we're just going to see what he can get done.
Yeah, definitely. Really, practice is just for getting ready for qualifying, trying to find the line that works so you can go good in qualifying and in the race. Obviously, qualifying is sooner, so you're going to try and get as many positions as you can. So that's really, and we've seen drivers do that where they've tried to find the good line for qualifying, not actually racing, just the qualifying, so that they can get high in the positions.
So practice continuing to tick away. We'll step aside a moment, but first I want to take a look at our weather this evening. Now, of course, Avondale, Arizona, it is toasty, usually at least on May 21st. We come in this evening, we're looking at 73-degree air temperature. Now, we are sitting about 5 degrees, there's not 5 degrees, 5 o'clock rather, local time in the sim. So this will start to trend up, I think, for the next half hour, so maybe even an hour, and then it will slowly start to trend down as the sun starts to set. You see the track temp only 86 degrees. This is huge. Both with the Tucson Media setup that these drivers are running this evening and with that lower track temp, we should see some really great, fantastic side-by-side battles. Now, if you've run Phoenix on the sim as of late, it is very hard to drive. Usually gets very hot, and the rear tires don't like to grip. Now they do the fronts. You are fighting for grip all evening long, usually. It's a driver's racetrack. Now, it's still going to be a driver's racetrack. These guys will still fight for grip, but the weather is starting to lean their way this evening.
Yeah, fighting for grip. I mean, on a hot racetrack, obviously, it's going to be hot. Right now, I mean, as you said, it's going to be kind of grippy, but not really. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to just think when was the last time we covered this? I think it was Bluegrass Finale, I believe. And we watched those guys. They were fighting, slipping and sliding. And I mean, it was a heck of a show to watch. And these guys here at the L-TAC Cup Series, these guys are going to put on a heck of a show tonight. And just fighting for grip, it just makes it even more fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this one tonight. We know a lot of these drivers will be pushing their cars, trying, like we've said, punch their ticket into the playoffs. Because, like I've said earlier, this could make or break some drivers' some drivers' playoffs. So, I mean, really, we'll see cars fighting all night.
So with that out of the way, with kind of the groundwork laid for all of you viewers this evening, first I want to thank you guys for tuning in this evening, but we will step aside momentarily. We'll be right back to you just before qualifying opens up this evening. These drivers have just a few more minutes of practice left, then they'll roll into their 2-lap qualifying sessions. We'll be here to cover that. Don't go anywhere. This is Pit Stop TV continuing coverage of the L-TAC Cup Series at Phoenix.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome back to the virtual Phoenix Raceway. It says ISM there on the graphic. iRacing maybe a little behind on that one. 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers in length. And you can see the sun has set quite a bit just in that transition from practice to qualifying. So we are inching closer and closer to nighttime, ladies and gentlemen. And nighttime, of course, is the right time. And it's going to affect the way this race plays out for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how things do this evening. Of course, these drivers, they're up against quite the racetrack. We've talked about it already a little bit. We'll see it play out this evening. This racetrack is tough to handle. Merrick Watchorn on the speedway beginning his first flying lap. And Trey, we'll start to see how these drivers will feel for the rest of the evening. It looks like they're pretty well controlled, and Watchorn takes a little bit of the dogleg out right there. The biggest thing is going to be turns 3 and 4. They're flatter, they're more slippery, and they're just harder to get grip on.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch your throttle control and just your braking marks going into 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is really just the hardest point going in, the hardest part of this racetrack, in my personal opinion. 1 and 2, it's not really that hard, but 3 and 4, because you're carrying so much speed coming off of that dog leg, going down the backstretch. And you just really got to slow it down and watch your throttle control. Make sure you don't overturn. you don't want to have too much oversteer going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see these drivers progressively get better and better as the track cools down and they get fresh tires, either on stage cautions or just regular cautions. So, I mean, it could be definitely an interesting one, to say the least.
Joseph beginning his first flying lap. He's coming straight off of 2 race wins. First back at Auto Club Speedway, then last week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, it was a little bit of controversial, I would say, for sure. Made some contact in the latter stages with Nate Brooker, but he got the race win. That's what matters, and he inches himself a little bit closer to that points lead. It's still going to take some work if he wants to usurp that 21 atop the standings going into the final couple of races or even going to the playoffs, but he does qualify, it looks like, 6th spot this evening, which is, well, the top half so far with just 13 having taken a time. Some more cars in the speedway. We're looking at Holden McGill now as he works down the front stretch, and this should be to begin his first flying lap. Now, the interesting thing about Phoenix, you want to dial some rear brake into this car usually. Of course, these drivers are going to be tight into the corner. They're going to be screaming to be able to turn the nose of the car. The problem with dialing rear brake into this car, Trey, is if you dial too much and slam just a little too hard, be it just trying to make it into the corner or checking up for some reason, the car spins very easily. Navarro goes fastest his first start in the L-TAC Cup Series, and I think we got to watch out for him.
Yeah, Navarro definitely was showing a lot of pace in practice, and he definitely comes out in qualifying right there and just shows that he's not a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, just to touch up on what you said about putting too much rear brake in these cars, you got to really be careful just how much you want to put into these cars, because as you mentioned, you touch that brake a little bit too much or a little too quick, you're going to spin that car right out, and there's not a lot of room to spin here.
Yeah, Andrew definitely looking to make a statement into the first series as we go to Butcher Benjamin now, as it looks like he'll be trying to take his first lap coming out of the pits.
No, sir, he is currently 9th. He's just turned a time and slapped the outside wall. You can see the damage alongside of the grain machine as he works into the pit lane. Had a different paint scheme last week and some pretty good reason behind it. Autism Speaks was on his number 1 last week at Indianapolis. He mentioned that he is on the spectrum himself, and I just want to shout that out again. The fact that he was running that paint scheme, I think, just made a big statement, and I think was really, really cool. The fact that he was able to represent that, and do a fantastic job of it all in one was really, really cool. We're working down into the final few seconds of qualifying this evening. You see ticking down to 40 seconds and closing on the end of the session. Still a few cars that have not turned a time, those being John Fallon, who I've not seen on the running order in quite some time, Kevin Franks as well, even Richard Springer and Barrick Uphold and Stefan Purcell. The final 5 cars who have not turned a time so far in qualifying, and it looks like will not turn a time in this qualifying session. In fact, it gets advanced right there, and we will move straight into our grid. So, all the stages are set. Everybody is in their places. All the pieces are ready to be moved around for one of the final 2 opportunities for anybody to punch their ticket to fight for a championship this evening. Let's find out who'll do it. Before we do that, of course, the starting grid. Starting first this evening, mentioned him in the number 22 car, Andrew Navarro. Well, he'll be scored as a 22 this evening. He'll be visually running the 42 car. There you see him getting up on the inside of row number 1. He sets it on pole in his first L-TAC Cup Series start of 2021 with Merrick Watchorn to his outside. Starting 3rd place this evening, the Charlotte Roval winner, Logan Hamilton, finally got that monkey off his back. Let's see if he can make it 2 wins on the regular season. Holden McGill, he's still looking for his 2nd win of the season, if you can believe it or not. His first came all the way back in Atlanta back in January. He is hungry, and he could do it here at Phoenix. Starting 5th this evening, inside of row number 3, Anthony Massotti in that 49 car. He most recently won at Pocono Raceway. Sure, Phoenix is a bit of a triangle. Maybe he gets it done, but look at Sean Deal qualifying 6th place this evening. He could have something as well. The back end of the top 10, you'll have Grant Peterson and Joseph Squared in that 20 car. 9th starting position is Taylor Butcher Benjamin. 10th will be Ryan Dingler.
11th, we have Brett M. Fisher, and to his outside. And 12th, we have Colin Stone. Starting 13th, we have Jeremy Berger and Brian Huntley Jr. starting 14th. 15th, we have Robert Pattengill of Tucson Sound Art to his outside. And 16th, we have Frank Flores. Last qualifier, and starting 17th, starting is Ryder Schrauf in 17th. Richard Springer didn't set a time, starting 18th. John Fallon, 19th, also didn't qualify. Barrick Uphold, 20th. And rounding out the last row of the field, 21st and 22nd, we have Stefan Purcell and Kevin Franks.
22 cars the field this evening as we get set to go for 156 miles, 156 laps as well, of course, around the 1 mile Phoenix Raceway. Usually 312 laps for the full distance when the NASCAR Cup Series comes here. You know what, though? I will take the half-distance race. These races at Phoenix tend to be a little bit of a sprint. I am totally fine with having a few fewer laps just to force these drivers into some interesting predicaments and to see how they can cope with it. That 22 car, well, again, scored as a 22, visually the 42. Bottom side of row number 1, though, I got to watch out for Andrew Navarro. I got to believe that he has got something for the field. Obviously, he led practice, qualified on pole, and suddenly we've got to watch out for somebody to play a spoiler, complete spoiler, in these last couple of races in the L-TAC Cup Series. Again, just 2 races to set your championship field. 29 races in total. It's quite the interesting number, quite the lengthy schedule altogether. We've gone through 16 of them. This is race number 17. We've got to watch out for that blue Ford Mustang inside of row number 1. There's still plenty of other drivers who can change things up, though. Of course, Merrick Watchorn starting on the outside of row number 1. He's only got 2 wins in the season. Could he make it 3 this evening and move a few positions up? Of course, Sean Deal, the outside of row number 3. He's still winless and still needs to secure his place in the playoffs. A lot's going to happen this evening. It all starts with this. Out of turn number 4, the pace truck takes the safety of pit lane, and we're ready to go green flag racing. Waiting on the starter, and we are off and away. Into the dogleg for the first time. You see everybody on the inside lane, at least, going down to the flat. Merrick Watchorn uses that to his advantage for a moment, but by the time they get to turn 3, Navarro's back to the inside.
Coming out of turn 4 to complete lap number 1. Navarro still on the point. Watchorn not much further behind. Going into turn 1 here. Watchorn onto the bottom. Still clear. Navarro's on the point. On board with Holden McGill right now. You're going to see these guys dive down to the bottom. You're going to see Watchorn and Holden McGill Logan Hamilton go down to the bottom side there. Holden McGill's on the outside. Going into 3 and 4 here.
We see Watchorn and Navarro currently battling for the lead as they're side by side coming across the line for lap number 2, heading down to turn 1 and 2, still side by side, racing for the lead, and we'll see how they do for lap number 3.
Still side by side, they switched positions rather from the start of this race, where Navarro started inside, Watchorn outside, and now Navarro using that top side to his advantage. We'll see that a lot this evening. We're running the 750 horsepower package in these NASCAR Cup cars. That means we've got a little more motor, a little less blade, and it sets up for fantastic little side by side racing like that. But eventually, the better driver in the better line is going to prevail. We see that out of turn number 2. Navarro takes the race lead and holds it by quite a little bit. Holden McGill starts to fall back. You see everybody getting a single file.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. This is kind of the point into the run right now. Once that restart, you get a couple laps. This is where that follow the leader stage of the race starts kind of happening. You're going to see this going just going out throughout the most of the stage. You see Navarro just sets a hot time right there. And he's starting to pull that lead on Merrick Watchorn.
We know Navarro is definitely trying to make a good first impression on these drivers, showing that he is a force we reckon with week in and week out. I mean, he's doing a good job of it at the start of the race here. Let's see if he can continue it for the following laps.
Sean Deal sliding back now on the outside of Grant Peterson, loses that position. That's his 7th place that he watches pull away. He sits now into 8th, and this 44, he's got some right side damage already. He's got to get this race going for him. He comes in on the inside of the playoffs, but he's got to execute this evening. He's got to hold it. He cannot slip up.
Yeah, he's got to watch because he's got a very fast, hard-charging number 8 machine. That is Ryan Dingler. Look at that paint scheme. Look, Pit Stop T. I don't know if I've ever heard of them, but man, that scheme looks nice, and he is very fast. We got a caution on the speedway.
Ryder Schrauf problems down the front stretch, and the number 58 has come to a stop. We'll roll again and almost lost it again once he got back rolling. Let's take a look at what happens to this driver of the 58 out of Indiana. It looks like it's going to be a single car incident. It's so easy to have happen in these early laps. You're just trying to find a rhythm. Mistakes come quickly, mistakes come easily, and he has found one this evening. Out of turn number 4, we'll see what happens to Ryder Schrauf. And again, it's going to be a single car incident. I'm not sure if he gets loose or just pops the wall. Just pops the wall.
You know, that's a lot easier than, or more common, I guess, because it does. The car can get really, really, really tight just coming out of turn 4 right there. I've done that more times than I can count, and, you know, I can't really say that that's uncommon at all. You know, I'm going to expect a lot more cars to do that. Maybe not spin out, but we're going to see a lot of guys probably smack the wall out of 4.
Yeah, definitely coming out of turns 3 and 4, that track becomes very unforgiving. If you hit that wall, you do not have a lot of room to save that car and try and keep it going back the way you want it to, which is straight. And unfortunately for Ryder Schrauf, it was just not enough room for him.
Under this first caution period, no takers in the pit lane. We're going to step aside momentarily. We'll be right back to you after a quick message from our partners at Pit Stop TV.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that no one has this. It's a great gift to give anybody. It's a unique concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
We rejoin you on the final pace lap of this first caution flag. Sorry to cut Tucson Sound Art early just a little bit, but Andrew Navarro is getting ready to get back at it this evening. He comes into this first restart as your race leader and looking to do some work from the outside lane now. Merrick Watchorn, he fired off pretty good on that first little run, but started to fall off, and I think we're going to see more of that. Nobody pitted, at least out of the top 16 cars this evening. Nobody took tires. They're all saving those tires for later on in this event. We come to the restart zone for the first time this evening under caution flag conditions, and Watchorn fires off very early. That I would expect to get called back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he jumped way early there. I'm not really sure. I guess maybe he thought Navarro was going to go or thought he was going to play a trick there. But, man, what a jump there. And I don't know if there's going to be a penalty called on that. Looks like Race Control hasn't called anything yet, so we're going to see where that happens.
And that's a penalty.
Like they're calling it now. Here he comes down pit road to get that penalty. I mean, we saw a jump last week at 2 weeks ago at Indy. But my God, that was a huge one. So they'll call it, and now Andrew will take the lead because of it as they come down out of turns 1 and 2.
This is turns 3 and 4 as the 12 car works all over the back end of Andrew Navarro. Logan Hamilton, he's been so quietly poised as of the last few weeks. He's one of the younger drivers here on the L-TAC Cup Series. That's why I mentioned this. He's been very quiet, very steady these last couple of rounds, especially ever since he got that race win at Charlotte Roval. He's just quietly worked his way into positions to contend for wins, or at least contending for fantastic finishes. So far, this is nothing different. We're only a tenth of the way into this race just about, but the 12 car looks good.
Another quiet one to really be watching out for, Grant Peterson. You know, He's kind of been consistent here. You know, he's been running back. He started 7th. He's kind of running 6th right now. But I expect him to be running further up in this field. Once we get into a further run, he's running some pretty quick laps right now. Look at that. Running that Dogecoin. Send it to the moon, man. Let's go.
Another one we don't usually see up here is Ryan, and he's been making his way silently up through the field. I mean, currently he's sitting in 7th. He's doing a good job, and I think he might be able to compete for a top 5 tonight.
And some battles, actually, about the back end of the top 10. Look at this. Sean dealing now with pressure from Taylor Butcher Benjamin. That one car, he's had the worst luck all season long. We've talked about it a whole lot. Taylor just needs a break. Maybe this is it for him. We keep talking about the possibilities that are endless this evening for all the drivers in the field. This could be the one for the one car. Taylor Butcher Benjamin now working at a 9th position up ahead of Sean Deal. And look at who he's chasing. All-Star race winner Brett Fisher in that 30 car. So many good stories so far inside of this top 10, all while the same usual suspects at least come in behind this guy, the 22 car of Andrew Navarro. Logan Hamilton, Holden McGill, Joseph, all of the usual guys who would be leading, they are.
Yeah, Logan Hamilton doing a really good job trying to not let Navarro pull too far ahead, but man, he's just making it look easy on board. You're going to see that little bit of that banking. You're going to see it flatten out here. And this is where we're talking about going into that dog leg, actually Logan Hamilton, but you see how much it drops going out of turn 2 to that dog leg. You're going to see it just even out here. And then what we mentioned pre-race, where you're just going to see it flatten out right here to that straightaway. Just bank to straight, absolute nothing.
Yeah, once drivers hit that part, if they even remotely touch that wall, that section of the track will be unforgiving. There's not a lot of room between pit wall and the outside wall. So if you lose it, you need to be able to save that quickly.
Watching a battle exit turn number 2, and that was Springer on Fallon. Fallon gives the position up. This is for the 14th spot now, as Fallon maybe looks to regroup on Richard Springer. These guys battling towards the midfield. I mentioned earlier on, I've not seen Fallon in the field in quite some time. Good to see him here this evening. He's well out of the points fight, in case you're wondering about the playoff possibilities for this 16 Ford Mustang. But it's still good to see him here, making a start and running his best. So far, 15th, but I think obviously the sky is the limit for this 16 car, just like anybody else in the field. Even if he does stay back here, well, somebody has to finish 15th in this race. You can't have everybody win each and every week. So, in fact, you can't have everybody win ever. So, somebody has to finish back there, but he's doing a good job. He's working on that 6 car to get back up to him. And even if he can't quite get the 6 car, he's got Huntley Jr. in front, who's starting to head the wrong direction. That 19 Toyota Camry starting to feel the pressure maybe from Richard Springer.
You see that run right out of the dog leg. Richard Springer had an absolute heck of a run, but then you see it right there. John Fallon right under the underside of Richard Springer. Not quite going to get it there, but man, they are getting ever so slightly closer going through these corners here. You're going to see
Springer all over the back end of Brian Huntley Jr. Now dips down to the apron, and whoa! Huntley came off of the wall. That is sketchy. You can't get away with that one too many times. He's got to watch out coming off the wall like that. That was bizarre.
Yeah, I think we'll see a battle shape up between the 19, the 6, and the 16. These 3 are definitely going to be ones to watch out for a battle, and I think it'll honestly shape up to be a great battle nonetheless.
Watching various battles in the Speedway now as Colin Stone works to the inside of Jeremy Berger, the 43, all over the inside of the 97. Look at that. Tucson Solar Pros on the side of his machine. That's fantastic for a local sponsor to jump on this 43 car. And Colin's had a great season, honestly. A very quiet season, but he's worked his way into the top 10 in points and is looking like a possible favorite to go pretty well deep into the playoffs. Not necessarily for the championship, but anything can happen always. And all you've got to do is keep yourself in contention for as long as you possibly can. I think if he does that, if he does his work throughout the rest of the season, he has something good going for him. We talked earlier about Barrick Uphold, though, not being able to start. Well, he was able to start at least. I don't expect him to finish necessarily, but this is gaining him some valuable points if he does beat a few guys out who drop early.
Yeah, definitely stay out as much as you can. I mean, because even if it's 1 point, that 1 point could be the matter of being 16th or 17th, being on that bubble. Stay out as long as you can. Oh, you see that big run you were talking about, Huntley Jr. falling back there. Oh my gosh, I thought they were going to make contact.
Yeah, it was definitely very close to making contact there. Like I said, the battle right in this little pocket of cars is shaping up to be a great one. We've seen these cars going very close to contact multiple times going through these corners and through the dog leg even. And I mean, these little group of cars is definitely one to watch out for some great racing.
Side by side, Uphold now drives to the inside of the 19 of Huntley and puts that 19 car away quickly, it looks like. Down to the inside of turn number 1, he will clear that Toyota Camry, and Huntley's starting to have problems. It's very noticeable, I'd say, as, Berger works to the outside of turn 2 and almost catches that outside wall. I think it's pretty easy to notice right now this 19 is trending the wrong direction.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but it's still very, very early on in this race. He's got time. He can make a little bit of an adjustment. He might need to change some brake bias. You know, that is one of the things that does make a absolute heck of a difference going into here, depending on how much speed you can carry into this corner, how much brake you need to drag going into these corners. These guys are dragging the brake, believe it or not. They're not just lifting.
Yeah, these corners, you have to hold the brake for at least a little bit. And, I mean, we see him sort of making time on Jeremy Berger, but through the dog leg, he just loses any momentum he got on the front straight and through corners.
Andrew Navarro still leads as we work closer and closer to lap number 30, as Huntley looked to the inside of Berger. That 97 starting to slip as well. It's interesting how we've got these comers and goers starting to shape up as, Huntley stayed on the dog leg, and Berger stepped that Chevrolet out and almost had a slide out of turn 3. Maybe some contact from Huntley. Doesn't quite get into the back end of the 97, but boy, he's letting his presence be known. And down to the inside of turn number 1, he will dive and he'll try and take that position back away. These guys are battling for 14th on the racetrack, and they're battling like it's for the win.
Yeah, getting really, really exciting here. You see John Fallon going to be almost side by side there, coming out of the dog leg. They're going to turn 3. You're going to see Huntley try to get on Jeremy Berger. 2 tires down onto the apron. He's not going to make it work, but he's
he turns him.
Turned him. Around goes Jeremy Berger.
Jeremy Berger just got turned. There's no other way to put that one. Up out of turn number 4. Some very close racing. We were watching it for lap after lap. And Huntley, this is where he had dove to the inside of turn 1. And he almost got in to that 97. Thankfully kept it off him. This is where Fallon kind of comes in, makes his presence known, and then here in 3 and 4, suddenly the driver out of the Carolinas got a big run, and it's because Jeremy Berger just kind of misses the corner. Runs a little higher up, I think, than maybe he had wanted to. Huntley using that apron to help him turn, and out of turn 4, he just hit him.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. You see, he had a little bit more speed. Jeremy was further up the track, but, I mean, when you're in that kind of scenario, man, you got to let off the gas. I mean, I get sometimes you get a little bit tight and you don't know what to do. But you let off that throttle, you're not going to be as tight.
Yeah, you definitely want to let off that throttle in this scenario because you'd rather lose a little bit of time over a wrecked car and potentially even your car being wrecked. And I mean, sometimes like that where you have to know that you need to lift just a little bit.
One more replay here as you can see Huntley's Toyota just give a shot in the shorts to Jeremy Berger and then finishes him off, turns him around, and Berger has no choice but to back it into the inside wall, carry on then, and the caution flag flew. But that is big time difficult for the driver of the 97 to just kind of get turned like that. I mean, he did nothing wrong. I'm not even trying to necessarily shoot down the driver of the 19, but quite simply the observation is Berger got turned.
Yeah, I mean, that's just really what it comes down to. I'm not saying that was his fault at all. I mean, from his point of view, I mean, he may not have got tied at all and just he had that run and Berger came down and he just happened to be there. It's just kind of one of those wrong place, wrong time kind of deals. It's racing. It happens.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot, and it is an unfortunate outcome for at least one driver usually. And unfortunately, Jeremy Berger was that unfortunate driver in this scenario.
Lap 32 of 156. Navarro's still your leader, and the top 11 have stayed out under this caution period. The first driver to pit was Richard Springer in the number 6. We're 30 laps into this race, gentlemen. I don't know if those tires up ahead are going to hold. we should, I would imagine, have enough tires to come in and get some now and still be okay the rest of the way. I want to check the tire allotment one more time, and might actually have to go a little bit further up here. I'm checking for tire allotment. It doesn't say anything. Usually we're told 5 sets of tires. I think you can easily take 5 sets of tires. Well, take a set of tires now and still have 4 remaining and make this race totally fine. I would think this would be a key opportunity to grab some tires, get some speed, and work your way to the front of this field and still pit on sequence with everybody else. This is interesting to me that nobody thought to come in. But we'll restart this race. It's lap 33 of 156, coming to 34. Navarro is still your race leader here in the top 11 on old tires. We'll see how it shakes out. We've restacked him. We've re-racked him. Green flag is out. Oh my gosh! The 21! The restart stands. We'll let this sort out for a lap and see what happens to Holden McGill because the right side of his car is destroyed. I don't know what happened on that one. We'll wait for everybody to come through turns 3 and 4 cleanly. It looks like we will stay green flag racing. We'll let them come across the start-finish line to just officially complete this lap, make sure everything stands, and I've got to know what just happened to Holden McGill.
From what I'm seeing, I don't hear any. I haven't received any word from race control, so it looks like that's gonna keep going. But we're gonna get a look here and see what exactly happened to Holden McGill on that restart, because that was definitely something interesting. You see, we're coming out of turn number 4 right here. The pace car is down right here, going onto the bank or the flat out of the banking, and there he goes. And
he just got loose
on the tires. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely spun the tires there. That stacks up a bunch of other cars. There might be a little bit of nose and rear bumper damage to everybody else, but all the other drivers seem to got off pretty well.
Navarro still leads. We're working lap 36 of 156. That means 120 to go. This time by the start-finish line. The 2-car, well, I don't know what to call him at this point. I've called him the 2, the 22, the 42. Navarro still leads, and he's got his work cut out for him as these tires start to wear off. We're watching guys like Barrick Uphold start to work through the field. Richard Springer now to the inside of Sean Deal, and they're just going to make mincemeat, I think, of these guys up ahead. Now, they might have some trouble getting up to guys like Hamilton, Navarro, maybe Joseph, but at least for the good little bit, the good short haul here, I'd say, they're easily going to work by some of these drivers that are on these old tires. We're talking 37-lap old tires. I'm so surprised that that nobody took. And actually, I'm noticing now these guys are on still 29-lap old tires. They came down the first caution flag we had. So I'll take some stuff back. The first driver on tires then is Jeremy Berger. So I'm even more amazed that nobody else came in and got tires.
I don't blame these guys for staying out because actually this is the last lap of stage number 1. So we're actually coming to the completion here. So they only had 5 laps to go when we went back green here. So we're going to see a caution come out right here. There it is. Caution stage 1's over.
I'll eat all of my words. I don't know where my mind's gone as of late. I'm not going to lie. I forgot we were stage racing.
I mean,
I
man,
completely forgot.
It's one of those things you get in the rhythm and you just forget. I mean, with the kind of racing we've had, man, it's been action-packed. There's been battles throughout the rest of the field. It's just one of those things, man. I mean, no sweat.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I completely forgot we were stage racing. You see your top 10, the left side. Navarro gets that stage. Hamilton gets 9 points. Joseph, 8. On down, Masadi, Dingler, Peterson, Butcher, Benjamin, Fisher, Stone, Uphold. Andrew Jarvis, you're supposed to be the new guy here. How did I make that rookie mistake?
I mean, I guess just some great racing, so it got you a little bit distracted. I know I've done that a few times where there's been some great racing. I may have missed a cue or, may have said something that was incorrect.
Lap 40 then, under caution. We can expect the next stage rate to come the completion of lap 70. Would be 76, wouldn't it? If we're running 38 and 38. So watch out for that one. We'll have about half of the race once we go back green flag racing after stage number 2. But Andrew Navarro works down the pit lane for the first time as a race leader. So that explains all the staying out, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that one, but, sometimes they get away from you, whether you're a driver or a broadcaster. Sometimes, don't really know. But under the pit lane for the first time as a group. And I would expect that maybe Berger did not take tires, but just repairs. Navarro comes into his box. everybody in. I don't think there's a soul that stayed out this time, and no, certainly there is not. We'll see the race off of pit lane as Watchhorn comes into the very back end of the group. But up on the Jackson, down off the Jackson, Berger may have taken 2. He either took 2 or fuel only. He works out first.
Yeah, Jeremy Berger only had a 5.8 second stop, so I think he may have only put a splash of fuel on, so I'm not actually quite sure. But interesting strategy, but looks like everybody else has taken 4 tires and fuel, so actually it looks like Frank Flores actually didn't even stop.
Yeah, we'll see if that strategy for Jimmy Berger will work out coming into stage 2. It will be an interesting strategy. We'll see how it works out, though. And as we've always said, only time will tell.
Andrew Navarro won stage number 1, and I'll welcome now our third Andrew into the booth. Andrew Cardinale calling the race with Andrew Jarvis. Now Andrew Navarro wins the stage. Buddy, it's your first start here in the L-TAC Cup Series. Where have you been all season, and where was this speed coming from?
I have no clue. Just saw this and thought I'd race it tonight, and felt pretty good there when I started shifting and started making a little bit of a gap, and caution. Definitely did not want to see that.
Well, no lapped cars just yet, so Quickie Yellow, you're already about to go back green flag. We'll let you get back to it, but congratulations on the stage win, and I'm sure we'll talk to you more this evening. Andrew Navarro working up to this restart this time by with Jeremy Berger, the race leader, on his outside. Just like that, we're ready to go. Green flag racing once more from the Phoenix Raceway down to the start-finish line. We're back green flag racing this lap, 43 of 156. Berger leads. Down the backstretch, through the dog leg. Navarro all the way down the racetrack. Boy, he almost got down to that inside wall. Joseph now settles in behind him. Hamilton there as well. Masadi in 5th. Oh, and Hamilton the save!
Yeah, I was about to say he got really loose there coming out of turn. Caution now, Stefan Purcell around on the front stretch.
Let's see what happened here. I think it might be another case of either hitting the wall and losing it. Let's check it out.
Stefan Purcell was working through turns 3 and 4 in front of Merrick Watchhorn, and oh, he just gets loose, much like Logan Hamilton. And look at Pattengill slide into this one as well. He had the exact same problem. They both just got loose up out of the corner, much like Logan Hamilton, and easily go around. This is big for somebody who's trying to stay in the top 16 in that number 57 car. He's got to be careful of things like this. This is his one little mulligan.
You're going to see there, yeah, he just gets completely loose. I don't think Merrick Watchhorn actually touched him there. And then you see right there, Robert Pattengale just further on back. I don't know if he got loose or saw the smoke and maybe tried to check up and lock the brakes up. Not quite sure what happened with them there, but looks like he was able to get away with no damage. But, you know, these Quickie Yellows are kind of not what these guys want to see. We're going to get another look here. And, yeah, he just gets loose.
There was later contact from Watchhorn as he was going around. The 91 helped spin around. He may be able to catch it like Hamilton, but at that point, Watchhorn is there, and you can't blame Watchhorn in that situation for getting into the back end. We've seen it already happen in this race. It's not the first time that somebody's gotten loose at a turn 4 and has been collected, so at that point, well, that's all you can do, really, if you're Watchhorn. Sand throttle and hope and pray. A couple of takers under this caution flag, those being Holden McGill with all of his right side damage, and, well, we would have had a look at the right side of his race car. There he is in the pit lane. That's going to be tough to come back from, I'd say, and he very well could have grabbed some suspension damage as well. Who knows if he grabbed a little bit of engine damage trying to come up through the gears, but it's going to be a problem, I'd say, for McGill.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is one of those tracks where, you know, this isn't like Martinsville where you can have damage and still be competitive. I mean, the aerodynamics does matter at a track, just like Phoenix. I mean, heck, even Dover, you know, these shorter tracks, I mean, I guess you could maybe classify Phoenix as a short track. I mean, I guess really just preference on how you classify things, but this is one of the tracks where it does matter. You want to have a clean race car as much as possible.
Yeah, aero here is definitely what will help you around these corners, get you better runs off these corners. to maybe try and make passes through the dog leg, or maybe try and make a pass through the front straight. And I mean, if you don't have that arrow, then you won't be able to get those runs. You won't be able to get those passes off the corners.
We're working lap 47 of 156. Always such an odd number here at Phoenix, but I'm here for it. Looks like caution lights stay out atop the iRacing.com pace truck. That's actually interesting to me that we're staying under a caution. But let's take a look once more at our standings coming into this evening. You see McGill atop with only 1 win. Joseph comes in second with 2 wins. And you see everything else stacks out behind and really spreads out as well. We're watching, again, drivers like Kevin Franks, drivers like Frank Flores, Sean Deal, Stefan Purcell, Ryder Schrauf, Barrick Uphold, Robert Pattengale. Still a lot of opportunities for those guys that are below the cut line to work in, but they've got to execute.
Yeah, you want to talk about that gap with Barrick Uphold. He's actually disconnected. He did park that car. He's currently scored 6 laps down the last car on the scoring. So unfortunate for him. Glad he was able to actually, be able to get some points tonight, but unfortunately not enough.
Yeah, it is a huge letdown for him tonight. But I mean, we still see drivers like Schrauf trying to get up there. There's not a big point gap between 16th and 17th. This could make, like we've been saying all night, this could make or break either Schrauf's, Purcell's. It doesn't. Anyone between, I would say, 14th and 20th, it can make or break their race.
Well, not just their race, but their entire season. This is what it comes down to. This evening at Phoenix Raceway and 2 weeks from now at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Working through turns 3 and 4 for the final time before we go back green flag racing this time around. And Berger is all the way up by the wall. And does he put the power down early? No, he waits. The green flag's out, and they really wait on that restart. That is a curious little start there from Jeremy Berger, waiting so long, but it stacks him up. Second place on back. Hamilton on the outside of Navarro. They come close together in turns 3 and 4, at least the entry thereof. Joseph has fallen into 4th. Hamilton sticking tough on the outside.
Jeremy Berger doing a real good job. I mean, like we said, we don't really know what he did on that last restart. We don't know how old his tires are, but I think he took fuel only. But here we are. We're going to see those new tires from Navarro. He's going to go way down to the dog leg, almost to the inside wall. And I think he's going to take the lead now.
Yeah, he's going to run a very low line, but it's looking to work out for him for the time being. We see now Logan Hamilton moving up to second. He's going to try and challenge Andrew. And Joseph is going to look to pass Jeremy Berger for third.
Berger way up the racetrack, going to lose 4th, going to lose 5th, going to lose more, as now Grant Peterson looks to his inside, side by side. They'll drive down to turns 3 and 4. There's nothing that Berger can do clearly on some older tires. We're speculating only about 6 laps older, though, so it's honestly pretty fascinating that he's dropping this quickly. And, he's a little squirrely out of turn 4 as well as Peterson takes that position over. Navarro goes purple that lap, a 26.961 as he sets sail from the rest of the field.
Yeah, setting sail for sure. Already almost 0.6 of a second ahead of the field. As you see on board with him, nothing but clean air ahead. And you see the sun's down, the lights are on. Look at that gap back. You see that gap. 0.6 of a second back to Logan Hamilton. Almost a second back to Joseph. You can't even see the rest of the field back there until he gets into the corner.
Yeah, Navarro trying to show that he is wanting to win as many races as possible. And, I mean, he's doing a great job at doing so. I mean, if he could come here tonight and do his first race and a first win, that would definitely be an accomplishment here.
Joseph now with company from Anthony Masadi. We thought about him falling into 4th position on that restart. Of course, he made quick work of Jeremy Berger, who continues to fall back, now in 10th position. Here comes Stone and Springer side by side up to the slow 97. Springer's going to get the better side of that on the bottom of the racetrack, and Stone bobbles out of turn 2. Springer's going to make the move on Berger, and he takes it.
You want to talk about somebody that's not bobbling. We see Merrick Walchurns found himself back up into the top 10. After that restart, he had a drive-through penalty for jumping that restart. He's back up into the 9th spot, trying to get as much track position as possible. Currently working on that 30 machine of Brett M. Fisher for the 8th spot.
Yeah, we see a pretty good battle between these two here. He's trying to find an opening, trying to see where maybe the 30 is not at its best, and he's probably going to take advantage of it. We see a huge run by Merrick Watchorn here coming into turns 3 and 4.
Kind of lunged into the corner just a little bit and loses that time back on exit. And you'll see that a little bit, that kind of ebb and flow where the car behind will close in just a little bit. They're at lower speeds, the gap holds, but then on exit of the corner, of course, they separate back out a little bit as, things are starting to get mixed up a little bit for the third position. Masadi was looking down the dogleg that last time through, and that chrome red machine, not quite chrome, but metallic red 49 has got something for Joseph Squared.
Yeah, that metallic, that really pops under the lights. That I really enjoy that, but man, he is in a pit stop TV sandwich right now. And, you know, honestly, I like to see this. They've got some good action going on. They've got some sparks flying under the lights. These guys are putting on an absolute show here, and Masadi's showing a lot of speed.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun show to watch tonight. And we see now they're battling for that position. They're gonna. I think pit stop number 2, the bottom piece of that sandwich, is gonna try and lunge it into maybe corners 3 and 4 or coming out of them.
The top 6 starting to work away from everybody else. Taylor Butcher Benjamin a little ways further back of these guys. The leader's still trying to check out as well. Navarro just shows up out of nowhere, decides to come out here and dominate this evening. Gotta play spoiler. One of these drivers trying to lock into the playoffs. They're not gonna be able to win this evening, it looks like, if things hold, but wow, Ryan Dingler, he was going to take a short trip to a very long pit wall if he wasn't careful. Thankfully he was, saved the race car, but he can't do that too many more times. The tires will fall off.
Yeah, that's just one of the spots you got to be really careful coming out of turn 4, because you never know, especially since now the lights are out, the lights are on, the sun's down, this track is going to cool down. So these guys are getting used to a slicker track, so now it's going to start gripping up. So they got to change their driving style. They got to, you know, they're used to using a little more brake, getting into the gas a little earlier. Now these guys got to really modulate exactly how they're going to drive. It's methodical.
Yeah, we've seen currently tonight, coming out of turns 3 and 4 has been the kryptonite of these drivers currently. We've seen probably the most tiny slip-ups to completely spin outs and hitting the inside wall.
Watchorn now going to work on Brett Fisher, and this battle has remained for a large amount of laps at this point, ever since we went back green flag racing. The 91 has been working on the 30. I talked about it earlier. Brett Fisher showed up to Bristol Motor Speedway covered in dirt just a few weeks back for the All-Star race and just showed the field what for. It was a night filled with calamity, a night filled with chaos, a night filled with a lot of crashing, but he kept his car the cleanest, kept his car in the race lead, won the All-Star race, won a nice little bag of cash along with it, and now he shows up to another driver's racetrack, Phoenix Raceway, and he's starting to look pretty good inside the top 10. Well, we haven't really seen any kind of runs like this out of him throughout the rest of the point season so far. This is big for Brett Fisher. It's not necessarily going to right the ship in terms of starting him onto a championship campaign, but it's certainly one of the steps along the way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having a win like this, especially in the All-Star race, I mean, it's just a really good confidence booster. It's a momentum booster for sure. And, you know, ever since then, he's been having some really good runs. And it's just what we really love to see for a driver that hasn't really had the best performance going on. You know, we see here on board right now, he started 11th. He's been in 7th, currently running 8th. He's in the top 10, being very consistent. Has really no pressure right now from Merrick Watchorn. I mean, I say that he's got 3/10, but he's been able to hold him off. And he's staying consistent gap to about Taylor. So, I mean, he's kind of content about where he is right now. As long as he doesn't go too far up the racetrack to allow Merrick Watchorn to be able to dive that in there. Because we know if he has that hole, he's going to take it.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't make any little hiccups, he should keep that position, and any major hiccups could be devastating for him tonight. But I mean, all in all, he's put on a great show. He's put on a great race. He's doing well, and I'm honestly kind of excited to see how he does tonight.
Ringer closes on watch. When we were starting to watch the battle further up, though, I was watching Peterson from the onboard of the 30 car even. I was watching Peterson start to look high, look low on Dingler, try and find a way by Watchorn. Benjamin just sitting back, and TBB, as Emerson always calls him. This one car, again, he needs a run like this. plus some. He needs to get up there into this top 5. He needs to show this field that he's here to contend, and especially to start some momentum his way going into the playoffs in just a few weeks.
Yeah, that's exactly what Taylor needs. We all know, we've spoke with him. He said this season is just not his season. We all know last season he was really good. He's one of the threats in the field. What a run coming in here. Dingler into the outside wall. That's going to be slow. That's a spot there for Peterson and TBB. They're gonna go by Dingler here. I was gonna say very easily, like taking candy from a baby, but man, he's making Taylor fight for it.
Yeah, he's making him fight for it hard. He's going to keep there with the number 1 of Taylor Butcher, Benjamin Furto. He's going to try and keep there as long as he can, maybe try and make a move. And, I mean, it was definitely a little upset for him there. A little hiccup did all that time for him, and it was very unfortunate there.
Springer still going to work on this 91 car. I noticed the gap was under a tenth momentarily, suggesting they were side by side, and Springer now going to dive to the inside of turn number 1. They should be on equal tires, but Springer's just starting to come alive. And well, you know what? I go back to Gateway. If you recall there, Trey, you were on the call for that one. That was all the way back in February. The last time we saw a big run out of this 6 car. And oh, they're still side by side here in turns 3 and 4. We'll watch from Rattlesnake Hill on the outside of the corner. But we have not seen a big run like this for Richard since all the way back at Gateway. And that's the one that stands out to me, where he easily contended inside the top 5 and had a car that could have fought for a win.
Yeah, he's done really good at these shorter kind of racetracks, and Gateway, it's a shorter track and it's really tight.
It's a finesse track.
Exactly, and that's exactly what Phoenix is. You have to finesse your way around this because turns 1 and 2 are completely different than 3 and 4. Just like Gateway, it gets tight, it gets loose. I mean, these two, you may not think that Gateway and Phoenix are similar, but they are a lot more similar than you'd think.
Yeah, we see Colin Stones now make a pass on Watchhorn. He's now going to move up into the top 10. He's going to try and maybe make some work on the 6 of Springer.
Joseph losing 3rd. There goes the 49 of Masadi. Moose has a run going for him this evening. I don't know where this is coming from, but he has made pretty decent work, I'd say, of Joseph. He ran behind him for a while, just kind of rode around, and now that the tires are starting to mean a little bit more as the run goes on, he powered on by, and we're getting close to the end of stage number 2 right here, Trey. I'm on top of it this time, I promise. That's a valuable point.
Yeah, coming to 5 laps to go here in stage number 2, you see Musati, as we just mentioned, able to get that pass for 3rd on Joseph. And just that scheme, I know I said it earlier, that scheme, just you see that light reflecting off of that scheme pops. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think at this point Musati isn't going to try and go for second. Second is 3 seconds ahead. Or sorry, not 3 seconds ahead. He's 0.3 seconds ahead. But I think he'll try and defend off Joseph now, trying to get that little bit of points, trying to maybe get higher up in the playoffs.
Andrew Navarro leads as we work further and further into stage number 2, just a few laps away. In fact, this time it'll be 3 markers to go in this second stage. And at this point, if you're Navarro, you've got to think about the possibility of green flag pit stops. Stage number 1, it was a little bit riddled with yellows, but stage number 2, despite the one incident out of the final corner very early in this run, it's been very clean and green. Got to start considering what you're going to do as far as tire wear, fuel strategy, and how you're going to make it to the end of lap 156 in first position. It's not all going to come from speed. Sure, that's a large part of it, but you've got to execute in the pit lane. You've got to take the right strategy.
Oh, absolutely. Strategy is key. And just looking at the last lap turn here, Navarro's last lap was a 28.256. Logan Hamilton at a 3. Actually, the fastest car on track right now. Anthony Musati ran a 1. He is over a 10th faster than our race leader right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get up there. I mean, he might be able to try and get up there with Logan Hamilton, but I don't think he'll have enough time to make the pass, unfortunately.
No, 10ths aren't going to do it when he's got a second to go with just 2 laps to go out of turn number 4. Andrew Navarro going to take the white flag on this second stage. And boy, what this could have meant for a driver like Navarro if he had just been here through a few more races this season, collected a few race wins, and potentially been in this points fight, as actually the caution comes out one lap earlier than we'd expected. So We were racing to the end of lap 75. Imagine that, one lap sooner, and the stage is over. That does it for Andrew Navarro. Logan Hamilton comes in second. Anthony Mazzotti takes up 8 points. Joseph there in fourth, and so on and so forth with Grant Peterson, Taylor Butcher-Benjamin, Ryan Dingler, Brett Fisher, and Richard Springer, and even Colin Stone in the top 10.
Yeah, looking here, this top 10, very, very interesting, as we mentioned earlier. Richard Springer having a great run tonight, getting some stage points. That's very good for him. Colin Stone, we mentioned, had been very consistent, staying in the top 10 right here. TBB, P6, good run for him, getting those extra little points that he needs. But, you know, everyone else in the top 10, not a stranger.
Yeah, we know Andrew Navarro definitely won. Andrew Navarro won the first stage. Now winning the second, he's going to try and do a clean sweep tonight. And I think if he can do it, he'll really put out there that he is not playing around. He's trying to win races. And, I mean he's definitely a threat right now to win this race.
Working down the pit lane, Logan Hamilton in behind. He's our first points competitor in the field, and he's certainly the next in line to take that race lead at some point throughout this event. We work down towards these pit stalls for the second time for most of these drivers, if not all of them. That's kind of crazy to think. Half of the race in, and it's only the second time they're coming into pit. But Navarro goes up on the jacks. Everybody should come in for foreign fuel. You see Watchorn comes in just a little while later. Now, we've already talked to Navarro just a little bit. So what we're going to do under this stage break is something we usually do in that scenario, where we're actually going to talk to the second place finisher, especially someone like Logan Hamilton. It's so important at this point in time. And Trey, I'm going to hand him... Whoa, actually, what's just happened out of the pit lane? Navarro... I don't know. But Logan Hamilton, I guess, exits first, so I'll hand him your way here, Trey.
Well, we see that chaotic, race off of pit road there, Logan. Congratulations on winning the race off of pit road there. But, man, just what a hectic race. Navarro coming out here, just throwing down some absolute heaters, put on a clinic out here, leaving you guys out in the dust. I mean, do you guys have anything for him tonight?
I don't know. I mean, sorry for that voice guy. I don't know. I mean, this will be the longest run we'll have all day, so he could struggle with lap traffic or he could struggle with tires. I mean, you never know what could happen in NASCAR, but I think if it all goes well, probably not. But you always got to keep your hopes up. Look on the bright side.
Speaking of the bright side, you started third. You're currently second. You've been in the top 3 all night. You're having a fantastic run. Do you think you might have anything for Andrew Navarro here in the last stage to maybe try and get win number 2 on the season before we go into the playoffs?
I mean, if it falls my way, then sure. I think anything can happen, like I said earlier. But, yeah, just got to try anything different. I think at this point, we'll be looking more defending second than I will be going for the win. But you never know.
So with that being said, trying to go for your second win on the season. If it doesn't happen here, do you think you can do the Charlotte sweep?
I don't know. I mean, last year, if you asked me that, heck no. I was terrible at saving tires last year. But I think, sure, I'd love to go for a home track sweep. But, yeah, definitely. We're obviously looking forward to Watkins Glen because last road course we won. So, but I'm glad to be having a great race for Tucson Sound Art. It's their home race tonight. So, happy to have them up front.
We're happy to see that car up front. Beautiful paint scheme. Well, we're going to let you get back to it. We're about to go green. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, second place finisher is stage number 2, Logan Hamilton. We're going to throw it back to Andrew. We're about to go green.
Andrew Navarro with the race lead. And I have no clue what happened exiting the pit lane that last time through, but it all seems to have sorted out. We'll go back green flag racing with 76 laps to go at the Phoenix Raceway. Green flag for the driver of the 42. Navarro will lead us down to turn number 1, and oh boy, it gets interesting behind. Joseph, a big dive to the inside of Taylor Butcher-Benjamin, 3 wide, Peterson up top, Benjamin in the middle, and Joseph wisely backs out. Masadi sends it on the outside all the way up next to the wall, keeps it out of the fence, and he will take that 5th position. Joseph on his back heels. Whoa, and Berger, a nice save.
Yeah, nice save there from Jeremy Berger. One thing I just noticed, I didn't notice this earlier. Look at that back end damage on the back end of that one machine of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. I don't know how long that has been there. Maybe it's been there the whole time. I just didn't notice. You're going to get a good shot of there. You see the back end just really caved in. You see Musadi still trying to use the outside line there, but it's just really not getting anywhere. Side by side there with Joseph coming out of turn number 4. Looks like he's going to get that little bit of a surge out of the corner, but really not much able to do there.
Yeah, I mean, for how much damage is back there, Benjamin's been able to keep it pretty consistently paced at a good pace. But I mean, I think he could be doing better if that arrow wasn't there, especially in a narrow-dependent track like Phoenix tonight. So I mean, if he can get that repaired, maybe he could place a little higher. But I don't think he'll get it repaired. It's very minimal damage.
For the first time all evening long, it looks like we might have a challenge for the race lead outright. Logan Hamilton hanging with this 42 car, the best that anybody's done so far this evening. I was about to say this season. No, just this evening. Is Hamilton sticking with him for now, but I think we'll start to see that 42 walk away slowly and slowly. Just eke out that race lead once more. We've seen him just walk away each and every time, and I don't know if that's going to change. This is such a finesse racetrack, like we talked about earlier. It takes the right combination of things to get right. I quite and simply think, unless something happens to Andrew Navarro, he's got this win.
Oh, no, I agree 100%. Logan's just got to make sure he doesn't try to use up his tires very early. You know, I'm going to touch back on something I said earlier. One of the quiet guys here, Grant Peterson, found his way up into 3rd. But here we have that battle for 4th right now. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Anthony Musadi going to be side by side coming out of turn 4, turn number 2, going to the dog leg. Musadi goes down to the bottom. Butcher Benjamin up at the top. They're going to be side by side, still going to 3.
Yeah, these two are racing for this position for 4th. And now we see a battle now back for 6th between Joseph. Oh, Joseph real loose. He'll save the car though. Good save by him. And actually, he'll gain a little bit of time on Brett Fisher there.
The battle for 4th works out. 5th place goes the way of the 1 car. Joseph had competition for a moment. Brett Fisher was all over him. In fact, on his inside. Now he falls back, and Watchhorn driving his way back through this field after his penalty so long ago. He has worked almost back to the top 5. Just got a couple of cars to go through before he can break back into the top. But, well, Cinco drivers this evening. Whoa, Ryan Dingler all over the back end of Watchorn as well. These guys, they cease to amaze me. Every single time we go into the corner, I don't know what to expect from anybody on this racetrack. I do got to give a big shout out to the builder of this setup this evening, Jeffrey Souza and Souza Media. This is a fantastic one. Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, he's doing an absolute heck of a job.
Watchhorn in the wall.
Dingler went way down to the bottom there. Yeah, Watchhorn into the wall. But another props to another guy. Holden McGill finding his way back into the top 10 now after pounding the wall we saw in that restart after some wheel spin. Here we go. We got a potential battle for the lead here. Logan Hamilton trying to make a run on Navarro there, but not quite being able to make it stick.
Yeah, currently that gap between Navarro and Logan Hamilton has been averaged around 2.33 and 3.33. 0.233 and 0.333. It's been it's the closest anyone's come to trying to pass Navarro and trying to stay with Navarro, and I think it'll be a somewhat good battle coming down to the final laps here.
Lap 91 of 156, Navarro with a mirror full of Logan Hamilton, and Peterson just kind of watching this. He's got his popcorn out, he's got his Dogecoin up on Robinhood or what have you. He's just watching things, just sitting back, having a good time, and waiting for his opportunity.
Well, he's not the only one watching Robinhood right now, but man, I'm telling you, man, we're watching it go up, and just like I've been watching that go up, I've been watching Grant Peterson go up to the I was gonna say go up to the moon, but man, if he keeps this up side by side for the lead, if they slip up, he might be going to the leader, Logan Hamilton out of turn number 4.
For the first time in this stage and in stage 2, we've seen a different leader. Now, Andrew going to battle back for the lead. Can he retake that lead from Logan Hamilton?
You know, I don't know anymore. Again, 10 laps ago, when we took this green flag, I was so sure that Andrew Navarro had this race won, and suddenly we've got a new race leader for the first time all night long. Navarro back down to the inside of Hamilton. I think Hamilton has got to paint that yellow line now that he's in front of the 42, but you know what? With that 42 back on the inside, who knows? But Navarro back to the inside. He paints the yellow line. He's going to take that race lead back away. Now, Logan Hamilton has got to regroup. He's got to send something into turn 3. He's got to stay alongside of Navarro and restrict his exit. Otherwise, he's got no shot at it, at least immediately. Does he cross him back up like Navarro did to him? No, he can't quite get there. We may have just seen the one challenge, but we could see more challenges. Again, these guys keep surprising us. That's why the L-TAC Cup Series has been so exciting all season long. Every time we think we know something about how this race is going to go, they change it up on us. And Peterson down to the inside of Hamilton into turn 3. Contact maybe as he leans on that left rear quarter panel. Maybe puts a little dent in it, but they stay green flag racing.
Yeah, that right there, if I'm Andrew Navarro, that's exactly what I want to see in my mirror. Yes, keep going side by side. Keep doing that. Because that right there, Logan Hamilton's lost about 0.3 of a second on Navarro right there, and that could have just killed his chance of even remotely trying to get that lead back.
Yeah, now Logan Hamilton will have to try and go on the defenses. He's going to try and get back up to Andrew now, but I don't know. Andrew's been pretty consistent all night. He's been having some great laps. Now we see Grant Peterson now looking back to the inside of Logan Hamilton, trying to get second from him.
Almost side by side once more as Peterson, boy, he's got something in that 52 car. He's a hungry dog, I'd say. What's interesting to me, we were talking earlier about how these drivers tend to do good on the same kinds of racetracks, and Springer was looking pretty good again this evening after looking so good at Gateway. You know who else was good at Gateway? In fact, he set the car on the pole way back in February at the Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway. It was Grant Peterson, so it makes sense then this evening that he is he's in the top 3 and he's going to work on second place. I feel like he's got the car to do it. But now he watches second place drive back away as, again, they continue to surprise us. Logan Hamilton just drove back up to Navarro momentarily. Masadi is way up on the high line.
Yeah, way up to the outside wall. I don't know if he got pushed up there, if he was trying to do that side-by-side with TBB there coming out of turn 4. He's going to get the pass cleared there. There he is. He's going to slot right in front of Taylor right there. But, yeah, I was just about to mention that because I totally forgot that Grant Peterson won, and he was absolutely dominant at Gateway. Just totally eluded my mind.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to do a repeat here. He's gonna try. He's been stalking that 12 car of Logan Hamilton for a while now, but I don't think he's gonna get close. But he keeps trying to pass, and Logan Hamilton keeps getting him back.
So let's reset for a moment as we watch on board from the number 20 of Joseph. See, Benjamin looks low. Let's reset for a moment. 56 laps to go this next time by the stripe. They still got at least one pit stop, but imagine just the one pit stop. 70, 80 laps, that might be close enough if you really save your tires to do it, well, without stopping, but I really got to truly believe that these guys are expecting to come down the pit lane at least once in this run to the end. So when do you do it? You know, these tires can go for several laps. In fact, I believe these guys could pit now and be pretty close to safe. The other thing limiting them, of course, in that strategy, well, is, of course, fuel. As, Masadi and Benjamin, they continue to battle side by side into turn number 4. So if you're still in this battle, I'd say in probably 10, even 15 laps, I think the move has to be to go ahead, come in early, undercut, and stay out. Just stay out there, wait for them to drive up to you. Even if drivers come back up to you on newer tires, guess what? You paint that yellow line. You make it impossible to pass. Play Ryan Newman and win this race.
You know, I agree, but I kind of disagree at the same time. I mean, we kind of saw from the last stage. You know, they went 38 laps green. Right now they got, car in the wall. Colin Stone around on the front stretch.
Ryan Dingler grabs a piece. I was noticing some side-by-side for the back, and I do believe it was Colin Stone and Holden McGill. I could be wrong. We'll find out momentarily. Colin Stone having such a great season for so many races, and I am mistaken. It's going to be Stone and Dingler down the front stretch. This is a look through the dogleg, and this Tucson Solar Pros 43. I don't know where he's getting that solar energy this evening. The sun is long gone, but he was doing good. Again, inside the top 10 momentarily, and Dingler is just going to get loose at a turn 4. Pop the right side of the... Oh, and there was some net code there, too. That makes it even more painful.
Yeah, such a good run by both of these competitors, and you know, see right there, just finishes it off. Yeah, net code. You know, I mean, it's just one of those things that wish we didn't have, but you know, unfortunately, in the real world, it's not a thing. But in the realm of sim racing, it's just one of those things, and unfortunate for Colin Stone. But you know, we were talking about pit strategy and when we're going to come down. That kind of throws a wrench in it. So I would be shocked if we don't see everybody come down pit road right now.
Yeah, and it was a major upset for both those drivers, both running in the top 10, both being somewhat silent throughout the night, but making their way up through the field. And we see all the cars come down pit road now. They're all going to take fresh tires, I would assume, and top up on some gas.
4 tires and fuel should be the call for everybody all around. What's interesting is this feels a little bit in between. This feels like maybe they can go the distance. Maybe not. We don't really know. We have no way of gauging fuel strategy so far, fuel mileage so far, especially with the limited fuel capacity in these L-TAC Cup Series machines. But what we do know, 4 tires, fuel, everybody. You see, ooh, Hamilton rolls and Navarro just waited. He just never hit the gas.
Yeah, I don't know, but man, you can kind of see there taking out the cone there, a little bit of maybe some frustration there coming out of the pit box. But yeah, I don't know what happened there, but you know, props to Logan Hamilton. Actually, this time I said he won the race off pit road last time. I got that wrong, but this time definitely won the race off pit road. But yeah, I don't know if Navarro maybe had to back up at his box. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was an interesting cars rolling off pit road. That was an interesting one. I mean, that could have definitely affected the race. We know Andrew did lose a little bit of time through, but halfway through there. Let's see what happened.
Navarro will come into his box and he'll stop like normal. Gets in the box perfectly. It's interesting when he rolls away, he just doesn't really hit the throttle. We were watching him from high atop from this view, and actually, you can watch the rear tires momentarily. He will get going, but he doesn't keep hitting the throttle. This is a look back at, you see he hits the gas, and then just kind of sits there and waits. And the fact that he's credited with second place, I think means that line on exit means absolutely nothing, considering he absolutely lost that spot to Grant Peterson visually at the line. He's credited with second place anyways, and let's listen on board. He just slowly depressed the throttle. He just didn't spin the tires. He didn't get going. He showed no haste at all in getting off of the pit lane. That's a first for me. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I don't know, but Logan Hamilton just shot off like a rocket.
Yeah, he propelled out of his pit box there. He did not waste any time getting out of pit lane.
Well, and that's the idea. You want to spin the tires a little bit. You want to clean some of that rubber off that they may have somehow gained just coming back down into the pit box. It's likely not going to happen. Maybe on exit you pick some up, right? But I don't know. You spin the tires, generate some heat, make sure they're clean as you roll away from the box, and Navarro just didn't. Again, I've never quite seen that exiting the pit lane. Usually you'll see guys stand on it, do a nice little burnout, and leave their pit box with some speed. Again, Navarro, I don't know if that's intentional, maybe to just spice things up, but he gives up the lead and now sits behind Logan Hamilton as we're back green flag racing the far side of 50 laps to go. 108 of 156, and it's a side-by-side battle for third. And a caution is already out. Problems for John Fallon out of turn number 2. Oh boy, we'll do it all over again.
We're going to take a look here and see what happened to John Fallon. Not what John Fallon wants to see after making a return, after being out of a couple races. We're going to see right here, coming on the front stretch here, you see Ryan Dingler right in front of him. He did not get a good jump at all there. Coming across the line. He's going to go down in turn 1 on the bottom side. Oh, he just loses it.
Yeah, he just got real loose through the middle of that corner, and that was all that's all it took, and he'll nose into the wall. He might have a little bit of front-end damage there.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely have some damage, and hopefully we can get a decent shot of it here through our cameras. And you can see the left side of the nose basically is pretty well flattened up as he got into the wall. You can see some right side damage as well on that quarter panel. Nothing too bad all told, given we've gone 110 laps, and usually you have some battle scars. I mean, look at the back end of Hamilton's car. He's got the left rear punched in. A lot of these guys have made contact with the wall at one point in time. You see a lot of right front damage through most of the field. So at some point, right, you're going to pick up some of those battle scars. It's pretty impressive that we don't see quite as many through some of the guys in the back, proving they've kept things clean.
You know, just looking at the front end of John Fallon's car, just when you thought that Ford Mustang front end couldn't get any flack.
Yeah, I can tell you somebody who definitely did not want to caution is Logan Hamilton. Off that restart, he had a pretty good lead over Andrew, and I think he was trying to keep it. Unfortunately, that caution came out, so that lead is now gone.
Lap 110 of 156, 46 laps to go. This time by the flag stand. You see Barney holding that flag up there. Boy, he's looking like a true flagman, a true champ as always. Just, I can't think of any more adjectives, but he is a fantastic virtual flagman, and he got some recognition on Fox for a reason. We're under caution here at Phoenix. Looks like we'll take another couple of pace laps, and we'll be right back to you momentarily with restart action. We'll step away for a quick moment from our partners.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Green flag on the way for the entire field of the L-TAC Cup Series this evening at the Phoenix Raceway. So glad you're joining us here on Pit Stop TV. So glad to have that quick moment from our partner Tucson Sound Art. So glad they've been with us for so long now, and hopefully that's one that continues for a very long time. We get ready to get back racing. It's lap 112 of 156. Logan Hamilton waits, the green flag flies. The Tucson Sound Art Chevrolet continues the lead. We talked with Logan Hamilton just a little while back, and he talked about the fact that this is a home race for Tucson Sound Art. He wants to go out there. He wants to get a second race win. Obviously, these guys all want to win, but he's in the best spot to do it as Masadi. These guys never cease to amaze me on corner exit on these cold tires. They just keep getting loose.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be a fight for grip right now, getting these tires up to the optimum temp. But I'll tell you what, another guy that is going to fight. He's been fighting all race, trying to overcome that that drive-through penalty. Merrick Watchhorn finds himself battling for third. Going to be side by side there with Musati. Almost side by side. He's going to be right at the quarter panel going down the front stretch.
Yeah, these two have been battling. These two are going to battle for a little bit. We can see everyone's sort of starting to form up, starting to go single file throughout the field. It gets to that point where it's now just follow the leader.
Springer with a problem on the inside of the dog leg. He recovers, gets back in line, this time behind Ryan Dingler. Logan Hamilton went purple that lap, and a challenge from Musati. He looks to the inside, can't quite get there. It might take a moment for the heat to build in those Goodyear Eagles and to get after him, but hold him McGill. And Trey, you were talking about this guy a little while ago. He slapped the wall pretty hard after spinning tires on one of the, I think the second restart of the evening. Just completely flattened the right side of his racer. You can see he's pretty well recovered at this point in the 7th position and no damage on that right front.
Yeah, I mean, and one of those things, you got to take the small W's where you can get them, and that right there, I wouldn't even say that's a small W. That's a big W right there. Holden McGill able to bounce back after that to get back into the top 10 and having a great run right now. I mean, he's going to try to capitalize as much points as possible to try and keep that gap over Joseph.
Yeah, we know Holden McGill is... he's going to try and get up to the number 1 of Benjamin, and he's doing a pretty good job of it so far. We've seen him come back from worse, especially today, so it should be an interesting one.
Lap 118 and 156, they continue to just click him away. Grant Peterson in the 5th spot, Watchhorn 4th, Masadi 3rd, Navarro 2nd, and Hamilton 1st, and a caution flag flies. Schrauf in trouble, Patton Gill with him.
Frank Flores hard in the inside wall. Schrauf also involved, as you mentioned there. I think there was 2 or 3 cars involved in that.
Yeah, there was definitely a multi-car incident. We see it now, the 58 is involved as well. Let's see what happened here.
Looks like Schrauf will take the hardest hit of them all. This will be out of turn number 2 through the dog leg. Something goes awry. Watching Ryder Schrauf, assuming it maybe starts with him. Patton Gillen fought to the inside. This has to, yep, it happens up ahead and into the smoke. Frank Flores had a problem initially. So that was a great call out by Trey Patton, and Flores got another piece of him.
Drove right through him, literally.
Now that is a drive-through.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely is a drive-through there. What started this? We have to look at this from the 23's perspective. Let's see what happened here.
And you can take that bad joke any way you want, whether that's a drive-through penalty, a drive-through like at Bojangles where I went before this race. Whatever works for you. It's interesting to me this number font for Frank Flores is he's got a problem. Huntley's involved, and not to call Huntley out, but he was certainly a little. I don't want to say this too meanly, but a little all over the place earlier on. You could tell he was struggling for grip. And I think that's a pretty fair way to put it. It looks like it looked earlier like he was just having trouble adjusting to the way the racetrack was, along with the weather, along with the setup. And at this point, it's not even that catches him out. It's just a small miscommunication at turn number 2 through the dogleg, and this is something that can happen a lot. This isn't even down onto the apron. This is just on the dogleg. Flores comes down the racetrack, and Huntley hadn't quite all the way gone down to that yellow line. I mean, just met in the middle. I don't think either one of them's really at fault.
No, nobody's at fault for that. I mean, that was just kind of one of those things. They met in the middle. But one thing we did miss there, pit stops happened and a lot of maybe 2 tires and fuel. Logan Hamilton, the only driver to take 2 tires of fuel, he's going to go from the race lead all the way back to 10th.
Yeah, let's see how that. We're going to have to see how that strategy worked. It could work out well for him, but it was an interesting one. He'll be as you said, he's the only one that came down. So, I mean, we'll have to see how he does.
Well, everybody came into the pit lane. We can see on timing and scoring, it's about 5 seconds, give or take, for everybody aside from Logan Hamilton. Now, you know what? We have this opportunity. I was going to say, we don't know if that's tires or not. Go back, let's watch the replay of pit stops. Let's find out what these guys did in the pit lane. It's worth doing so because this changes the race entirely. This is Logan Hamilton. He's got a 4 tire and fuel pit stop for sure. Let's see what Navarro does in the pit lane. Does he go up on jacks at all? No. This is fuel only for these drivers. I am amazed by that. No tires.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here on timing and scoring, the only people to take 4 tires, we have Logan Hamilton, scored 10th place right now. Then we have all the way back to 16th, Sean Deal. Then Richard Springer and Jeremy Berger.
Yeah, and I mean, Logan Hamilton isn't too far back, so those fresh tires could make a difference. We'll have to see it on the restart here.
Lap 122 of 156. We'll do it all over again. As we so often do, it feels like we can have a lot of green flag racing a lot of times, and we get a lot of these laps out of the way, and then something, it's almost like our catch, right, where as soon as we start a broadcast, he's got to be center of attention. It seems like as soon as we get through stage number 2, even get through a few more laps than that, once we get to about 70% of this race done, something always happens. We always have these small little cautions that start just a chain. We get a chain of restarts, a chain of pit stops, and everything changes around. It never ceases. It never fails. This is always usually the dynamic of the L-TAC Cup Series, but oh, does it get so exciting. Restart lap 122, now 123 of 156, and watch Horn down to the inside. He had that jump earlier, but he jumps to the inside of Masadi, and that one's legal.
Yeah, I was waiting to see if we were going to see a stack up there, but it looks like everybody kept going. Navarro.
There's your stack up.
There it is. Wow. Huge gaggle, almost 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. Logan Hamilton right in the middle of that. You know, I'm not going to be shocked if we start to see Logan Hamilton go to the outside. Yep, there he is. He's just going to drive by everybody right there. 3 wide, Huntley in the middle.
Yeah, these guys are trying to push it. It's coming to a close, so we're going to see more and more moves like that as the night progresses. And, I mean, we've already seen 2 of them on the start of the race. Let's see how it progresses.
Hamilton is just setting sail around all of these guys. Trey, we watched a certain streamer last night when he took tires late, drove by part of the field. The question is, does this one go green, or does he have a chance to maybe get covered up? Do we get another caution flag? Do the guys in front of him take tires? Does this race dynamic change once again, or does Hamilton keep setting sail? He's up to 6th already from 10th on that restart. We're coming up to 31 to go. He's only got 5 more cars to pass, and he's got the grip to do it.
You know, I was actually just about to reference that because we thought...
Congratulations to Nate Stewart, by the way.
Yes, Nate Stewart, a heck of a drive last night. Good job, buddy. Can't wait to see you next week when you come up to Charlotte for the 600. But, man, we thought that Brad Wright was going to win that race in Road to Pro last night. He was the guy to beat. And then we saw Nate came through, had that strategy. Logan Hamilton could be Nate Stewart tonight. He might make that happen. He might throw the upset, but he's still got 50 laps, or 30 laps, excuse me, to make that happen.
Yeah, I think as long as another caution doesn't come out, I think Logan Hamilton already is, but he could make even more ground on the leaders. I mean, he's done a great job already. He went from 10th to 5th.
Look at this line way down on the apron, just all the way, a car width or so underneath that yellow line, comes out just to the inside of Grant Peterson. He's going to stall out a little bit, I'm sure, but at some point the tires these guys have will just drop off. And Logan Hamilton's will be a little bit rough, sure, but he will have better tires still. And he is going to continue to move up through this little gaggle, I think. Now, if he gets to Navarro before his tires level off, that's a question we just don't have the answer to. We're inside of 30 to go. He's got to go. And just like that Road to Pro race last night, 5th split, Nate Stewart walked away with the race win. Nate Stewart was not the driver to beat. You mentioned Brad Wright was.
Bars in the wall.
Oh, that changes everything. I was going to say, Nate Stewart was always in the running, though, like Logan Hamilton, until a caution like this caught him out and made it a bit more challenging. It looks like it's Sean Deal we talked about earlier on. He can't have a problem like this. Colin Stone involved as well.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there, but man, I look over trying to see what's going on, and I see Sean Deal and Colin Stone just firewall deep into the outside wall, and you know, it honestly about made me jump out of my chair.
Yeah, hard contact between the 2 cars there. We see the 44 with smoke billowing out the back, and Colin Stone without a hood on him.
I would imagine this starts a little ways further up, so we can take the onboard here with Sean Deal, and watch as who knows what happens down into turn 1. They're in behind Joseph, Ryan Dingler, and more. And into turn number 1, oh, Deal gets hit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was definitely from behind. I'm not sure who that was behind him. We're going to have to take another look at that. But, yeah, you saw right there. I mean, there's nothing in front of him. You just see him go straight to the right. You saw the contact. Oh, Richard Springer.
Yeah, it looks like it will be Richard Springer. We'll be on board with him now. Let's see as they come down the front straight, about to go into turns 1 and 2. Yeah,
Oh.
there it is. Right on that corner.
Oh boy. That's wow. Springer flat ran him over, but you have to sit back and analyze. You have to look at this from a driver's standpoint, right? And Springer is going to get a run out of turn 4. That's what we saw with the cover-up, the block from Sean Deal on his initial onboard. Let's watch it from this angle as well. This is a great one, actually, for this instance. You see the 44 comes down to block. Springer's there. They get off the gas at different points in time. That's what leads to the contact. And unfortunately, the 44 and the 43 are hard on the outside wall. That's the end result. I don't know what either driver should have done differently. It's so easy to say that maybe Springer should have lifted earlier, or maybe that Sean Deal shouldn't have blocked. Coming down to the end of it, you're going for all the positions you can get. In Sean Deal's case, you've got to cover up a block or cover up a run like that. You've got to take all the points you can get. The good news is he had one mulligan in the bank. He's okay for now. He had that fast repair. He's back in the field.
Yeah, just to touch up on that, I don't think anybody did anything wrong there. As we said, Richard Springer was obviously, we saw he was there. I don't think he was anticipating Sean to come down right there. And then I don't know if Sean even knew Richard was there. Maybe he was coming down to try to get the run on Colin. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. Wrong place, wrong time. And as you mentioned, that mulligan, he's back in it. Got about 25 laps to go.
Yeah, it was definitely just two drivers trying to go for the same line, and unfortunately, their line was just a little off. But I mean, we'll see. We'll be coming to the restart now, so I'll hand it off to Andrew.
We want to give a big shout out once more to our partners here at Pit Stop TV, Tucson Sound Art, Race Pace Setups, Permanent Makeup and Cryo and Main, and Whiplash Media and BAM Racing Videos. We have 1 lap left. Pace car lights were still out. We'll restart then on lap 134 of 156. 20 or so laps to go. And I'm thinking through things here, Trey. I'm really trying to consider some stuff. We didn't have pit stops, too many pit stops out of the drivers up front that time, but pit stops from 5th on back, they were busy. And what's interesting is actually it looks like Stefan Purcell came through the pit lane, didn't stop, so he may still be on old tires. But Navarro, Watchhorn, Masadi, and on back, they've all got new Goodyear Eagles. Looks like Fisher may have gone for 2 tires. We know in iRacing that can be a little sketchy. There's plenty of time for those guys that took tires. I think the race is flipped back against Logan Hamilton. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do to cover this up. But honestly, he's just got to go. He's got to go and not look back. Holden McGill on his outside. A lot's going to happen in these final 20 or so laps. We'll have 23 to go. Time by the start-finish line. Underbar to the flagman. Green flag waves. And Hamilton, a fantastic restart. Berger on the inside of McGill. They'll fight through the dogleg side by side. Hamilton sets sail. But boy, he's got to get moving, and contact behind! Watchhorn hard in the wall, Joseph involved.
Actually, the caution came a little bit before. There was a wreck of the dog leg back there as you saw more contact further up ahead. I'm not sure what the initial cause of the caution was, but definitely multiple incidents on the racetrack right now.
Now let's see here. We're going to be riding on board with, I think, the number 1 of Benjamin. Going into turns 1 and 2 on the restart.
Wide angle here, the stack up on the bottom side, and what even happens? There's a wreck further behind with Frank Flores and Kevin Franks, and then Fisher just comes up the racetrack and bodies the 91 of Watchhorn up into Taylor Butcher Benjamin. There's a lot to go through. There's a lot to unpack. First with Frank Flores.
Yeah, we're going to see what happened there with Frank Flores. We saw kind of from that widespread shot that he got turned around, but we're going to get a better look at it here. You see you coming across the line, going into turns number 1 and 2, in the back of the pack here. You're coming out of turns 1 and 2 there. You see coming into the dog leg. He's just going to get caught.
Ooh, another hit by the 23, or sorry, the 6.
And that's much like that incident we saw just a little bit ago. You know, at this point, it escapes me who was involved. But, gosh, gotta think back now. It was, I know the 19 was in it, and the other driver involved is escaping me. But it may have been Frank Flores, actually. It's the same deal. It just, in the bus, or not in the bus stop, but the dog leg, they just meet in the middle. Two guys trying to fill the same space, and a little miscommunication. What's interesting, though, is Brett Fisher. He just completely clears himself off of this 91 car. He just, you know, I have nothing for that one. I really don't. And I like everything we've seen out of this 30 car this evening, but that's one that makes me scratch my head.
Yeah, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see it.
He's going to go for a gap on the outside of another car when he's got 2 to his outside. He's already 3 wide, and he just goes up. There's not a hole there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something to say. I just can't really think of anything.
Watch this through one more time. We'll kind of watch along with Merrick Watchhorn and Taylor Butcher-Benjamin this time, as Watchhorn, I think, is going to get the worst of this. This is everything happening. There's a stack up with Purcell, and that causes this little jumble into 3, and the caution comes out at the perfectly wrong time as this is all happening, and Fisher just, again, he goes for a gap that is never, ever there. Watchhorn gets the worst, and oh, a great job by Robert Pattengale to put the binders on and keep from running in the nose. I was going to say in the back of the spinning 91, but running square in the nose of the 91. That was fantastic heads-up driving from Robert Pattengale.
Yeah, he did an excellent job. I mean, we saw him putting on the brakes, kind of spun out a little bit earlier on in this race, but maybe he got the brakes dialed up just right to be able to miss that one there. But as you see, Merrick Watchhorn there, name got away from me, catch it back up to the field. Looks like he had a hard reset there. Car looks fine, and we're gonna restack them here for about 18 laps to go here, Andrew.
Something around that. We'll be coming to lap 139 of 156. Logan Hamilton, your race leader. Holden McGill on the outside. The last time he restarted second, things went awry. This time puts the power down. Another late restart. And side by side for second place. It's exactly what Hamilton needed. Here comes Navarro. He's on the inside already, right in behind Jeremy Berger, who struggles out of turn 2. We're going to have 3 wide if they aren't careful. Berger tries to block. Navarro comes up the inside. Phoenix Raceway at its finest. Navarro up the inside. No contact. That is how you send it.
Yeah, very heads-up driving there from everybody right there. That is how you do it. That's how you get through the dog leg. All about said the bus stop there, too. I'm already ready for some road course racing, but here we got to settle through. Taylor Butcher-Benjamin inside. Oh, contact with Sean Deal. Caution's out.
We'll have to see what happened here between these two cars.
Not again.
Man, we've said it. Benjamin has had such bad luck this season, and it looks like it will continue here. He's had an unfortunate season, to say the least.
The hits just keep coming. This guy cannot get a break. He's the nicest guy in this league. He couldn't hurt a fly, I don't think. I think the best all-around guy, just the best all-around lad in this league. And he just cannot get a break. What happens this time? Huntley just up the racetrack. And, oh, you know what? There was contact with Dingler as well. Maybe an easy spin. Thiel just completely obliterates the left side of that one car. He just cannot get out of one of these races without somebody hitting him.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate there for Taylor. I mean, I honestly feel him. Taylor's one of my favorites here in the L-TAC Cup Series. You know, when we first picked him up, He was one of the, like, if not the force to be reckoned with here. And just, we've watched him just struggle week in and week out. You see here coming down the front stretch, it looks like he's doing good. And then we're going to see this contact right here going into turn number 1. He goes up high.
Huntley just
And
misses
there it
the
is,
corner.
right there. Just completely missed it. And there it is, Sean Deal. Just really nowhere to go. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, you can't help but feel bad for Benjamin in that situation. When you think he's going to have a great race, they just throw a rock at him, and that's what's happened here again.
This will be another look at things for Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Another opportunity to just take this one in, and this just hurts. All any of us have wanted this season is for this guy to just catch a break, have an opportunity to win, and even when he runs great, something always happens to Taylor, and it's almost never his own doing. He's the one guy out there, I think, that every single week minds his P's and Q's perfectly, and it never fails. Never, ever, 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 ever fails.
See, and then that's the thing, though, is that, like, Taylor's not one of those guys to, really rough somebody up. I've never really seen Taylor really rough anybody up on the racetrack. He's one of the cleanest guys I've ever seen on the racetrack. Just since I've been on the channel, and just from all the leagues and racing we've covered, he's one of the cleanest, heads up, like, high-class guys I've ever met.
He's just a wholesome dude.
Yes, very wholesome guy. And just, as we said, just can't catch a break this year. I hope going into Charlotte, I hope he gets it done. I really do.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Trey, there. I really want to see him get a win at Charlotte next week. I mean, like, what can you say about it? Like, there's not much you can.
I think we've said a lot so far. It's just the fact that he consistently, he comes out here, he shows that he is a driver to be reckoned with. He's fast. He's been as high as 3rd place this evening, even though he started 9th, about midfield. Something always happens, and it doesn't matter if it's him getting hit, if it's him having nowhere to go on a wreck. It's just always something. But let's refocus a little bit. We're coming around to, it looks like 140. Yeah, we're on 144. We'll restart on 145, and that will be 12 laps to go in this race. This is a really odd scenario. I throw back to Homestead Miami Speedway this Tuesday evening with the Norc iRacing Series, where we saw Daniel Falkingham on old tires in front of the field. He had stayed out on a late caution, much like Logan Hamilton. Other drivers had come in for tires, much like everybody behind him. And he held on for a decent amount of time. What's interesting as well, we're coming to a single file restart. I've not seen this before. This is new. Pace car lights are out. This is a single file restart for these guys. This is going to change things drastically and certainly open the door for the 12 car to just have the best opportunity I think that he's had all night to try and set. So that said, Holden McGill for the first time restarting behind Logan Hamilton will have nobody else to worry about. Waiting. The field stacks up a little bit in the back. Some contact. We stay green flag, and Navarro quickly to the inside of McGill. Some contact moves the 21 up the racetrack. Navarro fills the gap.
He's not going to let him get away just quite yet. He's still at the quarter panel of that 22. You're going to see it here. He's going to be able to, he just drove right by him like it was absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Andrew's trying to do the clean sweep here. He knows that he needs to get up to that first place. He needs to get up to Logan Hamilton by the end of this few laps, going to 11 now. I mean, he might be able to do it here.
Oh, absolutely he can. It's a matter of using those tires and using them right. 11 laps, still 10 miles to go when we get back to the start-finish line this time. That'll be 10 laps to go as we complete lap 156, and he's already there. 146, rather. He's already there on the back end of Logan Hamilton. He is quite simply in the position to make the race-winning move. 10 laps to go for Navarro. What does he do? How long does he wait? How hard does he push? Drives right up to Logan Hamilton with the help of his shift. You can hear it on the broadcast. Downshifts in 1 and 2. Uses 3rd gear to pull right up to the back end of the Tucson Sound Art Chevrolet. Later on the brakes, he's going to send it on the outside. Now, downshifts. He's going to try and cross him up to the inside of the turn number 4. And Andrew Navarro is alongside race leader. Oh, the block from Logan Hamilton. It's not enough. Into turn 1. Almost contact. Navarro sends it. Here comes Hamilton. Can't get there.
Here comes Musadi also getting up into the mix. He doesn't want to be left behind. He wants a piece of the action here. On board back with Logan Hamilton. You see they're side by side there. We're going to go overhead here, and you're going to see he clears him now officially for the lead. Going to be 8 laps to go here.
I mean, is there anything anyone can do right now? He's been dominant all day. We've seen him go a little farther back in the pack, but not too much, and then come back up on this restart. And now he's taking the lead, and now he's gaining time.
104 laps led for Andrew Navarro. This lap will be 105. We need a caution. If anybody wants to get up there and beat Andrew Navarro, it's going to take a caution. It's going to take 4 tires and fuel. Maybe not even fuel, but it's going to take 4 tires. It's going to take 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles to get up there and challenge for the race lead. Nothing else is going to do it this evening. There's the caution. One step is complete, and Ryder Schroff with problems.
Man, unfortunate. Ryder Schroff, man, you want to talk about another guy that hasn't caught any breaks this year. Ryder Schroff has been caught up in a lot of incidents this year, and just unfortunately just +1 on the incident count there for Ryder. We're going to take a look what happens. He's going through the bus. Wow, the dog leg, excuse me. Coming into 3 and 4 right here. You see he was down and away on the front stretch. We're going to see what exactly happens. He's got really no help right now.
Loose.
Oh, just loses it right out of 4. We've seen that weekend all night.
Isn't that the second time we've seen Schroff do exactly that? Or am I mistaken?
I think he might have done. I'm not actually sure.
No, I recall actually. Now he popped the fence out of turn 4. It wasn't getting loose, but it's the same. Well, not the same. The same corner, I suppose. Different issue then for Ryder Schroff that sets up what is going to be wild for the end, and we're expecting now a single file restart. I would say. What happens here? Nobody comes in. Do they not have tires? I would have to imagine if nobody's pitting, they just don't have tires.
That is what I'm thinking.
They've made 5 stops. Everybody aside from Logan Hamilton has made 5 stops. That said, at least one of those was fuel only.
Yeah, I guess no one has any tires left. They've used them all. So single file, Andrew's in the front. I mean, I'm gonna place my bet on Andrew on this one. He's been dominant all night. He's been fast on restarts. I'm gonna place my chips on Andrew right now.
Well, that's not going out there very adventurous, are we? I have to harken back. I don't know that these guys are out of tires. I think they're getting scared by the amount of laps left. But if we go into overtime, we saw it last night, Trey. We were talking about it. Going into overtime, take tires. I really think in fact, this is the same scenario I think that Nate Stewart was presented with. He wanted to make the call for tires, and he did. And I'm amazed these guys are going with the same tires. Especially Logan Hamilton. He's got guys all over him that have newer tires already. Navarro has already taken the race lead. You're locked into the playoffs. What do you have to lose?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, what really does he have to lose? He's got nothing. The only thing he's got to lose right now is a chance to really get some more points if he does fall back and even get taken out here. Just kind of what I'm thinking here. I did see from Race Control, this will be a double file restart, but here's what I'm saying. He's got a 76-point gap to hold McGill. I mean, he's got nothing to lose. He could wreck out and finish last. And
he's got 34 points back to Merrick Watchorn. Like finishing 10th would not hurt him.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I would go out there and I would take tires right here. See what you can do. Give yourself a chance. You're not going to beat them straight up on older tires like this. I would imagine more of these guys have to do the same as well. Come in and get tires. Give yourself an opportunity, a fighting chance. We know how good Andrew Navarro is. We've seen it all night long. Do something different. you gotta try. You gotta try something. Some kind of different strategy. We're expecting that they have at least one set in the pit lane again. We're seeing 5 stops across the board for everybody aside for Logan Hamilton or more. But we also know they've done at least one trip through the pit lane without taking tires, if not more. We get told each week these guys always have 5 sets of tires. Unless that changed, I would have to imagine, and that's 5 sets in the pit lane. That's 6 total for the race. I've been amazed all night long by drivers staying out on old tires. This is nothing different. It's incredible. These guys really have some faith in these Goodyear Eagles. I don't know if maybe the setup is better on old tires, but man, we're going to see how this all shakes down. What this is great for is the lack of grip. They're going to be fighting down into turn 1, especially coming around to turn 3. Oh, I can't wait to see these guys fighting, fishtailing a little bit, I'm sure, pushing into the corner, who knows. It's going to get rough and tumble. Double file once more. Navarro, the race leader. Green flag waiting. There we go. It flies. Masadi, the great restart. He's going to get by Logan Hamilton, it looks like he wanted to, and he does. One and a half laps to go for Navarro. They battle behind.
All right, coming into turns 3 and 4 side by side for second. Musadi going to do it. Are we going to make it? Are we going to take the white flag out of turn number 4? Looks like white flag's in the air. Wave that flag, Barney.
Yeah, we'll see final lap. And Andrew has such a good lead right now. I think the battle really is just for second at this point. He's going to come into turns, go past the dog leg and then come into turns 3 and 4. And I think he has it in the bag at this point.
It's a no-brainer for Andrew Navarro. He's going to exit turns 3 and 4 on brand new L-TAC Cup Series race winner. Led the most laps, dominated this evening, and quite simply had the strategy. And he wins at Phoenix Raceway. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Andrew Navarro, in his first start in the L-TAC Cup Series, takes it all this evening. You see, Holden McGill is going to come up and I would imagine congratulate him. There was no fight from anybody on those closing restarts. Again, I got to imagine what could have happened if somebody had tried tires earlier on in those 2 laps. I'm not sure they would have beat him, but man, somebody back there could have gained some spots. Andrew Navarro, though, goes to victory lane, does burnouts. Look at this for the driver of the 42 in his very first L-TAC Cup Series start, at least in 2021. He's going to burn it down under, well, I was going to say under the sun in Arizona, under the lights in Arizona in the virtual Avondale.
Yeah, I mean, he dominated the entire night, winning stage 1, 2, and then winning the entire race. I mean, for coming in for his first race, I say that is a feat not many can do to dominate their first race in the L-TAC Cup Series.
Let's watch back on this restart and try and see what some of that restart consisted of. There was a lot of action back there, and a lot went wrong for some drivers. This is a chance to kind of revisit things. And, you know, to be honest, I think it's going to happen in this little gaggle here. You see Berger on the outside of Joseph. This is down the front stretch. White flag flew right there. Brett Fisher to the inside of Ryan Dingler. Huntley up the racetrack, and they all stack up. And that's the group where it's going to happen. I wasn't sure if there was a crash there, wasn't, but just look at that action. 4 wide across the dog leg. Thankfully, they all held it. And even in front of them, 2, 3 wide. Battling down to turns 3 and 4. You see the result for some of these guys. Almost some contact there with Berger and Joseph. And across the line, they battled. But it was all that 22 car this evening. Nobody could touch Andrew Navarro. We will take a step aside. We will take our post-race break. We'll be right back to you with post-race coverage from Phoenix.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Welcome back to the virtual Phoenix Raceway in the virtual Avondale, Arizona. Night fell upon the 1 mile speedway, the jewel of the desert. But boy, Dan Navarro never fell. He led practice, he won the pole this evening, and he was quite simply the best driver at the Phoenix Raceway that the L-TAC Cup Series could muster up. Wins this evening in dominating fashion in his very first start. We talked to you briefly, Andrew, after your Stage 1 win. You won Stage 2. You swept everything there was to sweep. How? You come in this evening again. I mentioned it earlier. We talked about it all night long. First start ever. Haven't raced with these guys, at least not very often. If you have outside of L-TAC, and you just steal the show.
Well, it's definitely a lot of fun. I want to thank all the L-TAC guys for putting this together because had nothing else to do on a Friday night, and I heard this was going on. I was like, oh, I might as well give it a shot here. And, I mean, whoever built the setup, too, good job to them, because that actually felt really good. And I think there's multi-groove racing. You could kind of use the outside in 3 and 4, and then in 1 and 2, if you didn't exactly hit the bottom, you could still be fast. So it was a lot of fun.
So as an outside driver that comes in this evening, your first start with the series, you get a chance to get on this setup that... these setups are always made by Tucson Media. They're relatively consistent, I would imagine. Is that even more enticing to you as a brand new driver to keep coming back and running?
Yeah, I definitely like custom set fixed leagues. They're definitely a lot of fun because no one really has the same amount of track time on them. So it's kind of like once the session goes up, you're trying to find out whatever you can do. But yeah, it was a really good set.
And so moving forward throughout the rest of the 2021 season, there we go, for the L-TAC Cup Series. Obviously, you've already got 112 laps to your name out in the lead. Are you going to run some more? Do we see you next week, in 2 weeks at Charlotte, maybe even Watkins Glen?
I don't know about Charlotte, but Watkins Glen definitely sounds fun because I like the road courses, so I think I might show up for that one. I'm not 100% sure if I can make Charlotte.
Plenty of driver tracks ahead, and it seems like you've got a leg up on the field on these driver tracks. Best of luck to you when we get to some of those. But this evening, who do you have to thank? Who makes it happen for you?
I want to thank 7Cs, CGE, my team, Maconi Setup Shop, Martin Sports. They're the biggest help for me. I was trying to get some of my teammates to race tonight, and none of them wanted to. So I think they'll definitely want to run maybe coming up after seeing this. But also want to thank you guys for broadcasting and the L-TAC guys for putting this together.
Absolutely, and thank you as well for your time and just the effort this evening. Fantastic run, Andrew. Congratulations. Live this one up, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
Andrew Navarro collects a big statement race win this evening in the L-TAC Cup Series, race 17 of 29. He gets it done. We'll move things down then to second place finisher who lined up third on that final restart. You see him there in the metallic red. Trey Patton, you liked his paint scheme so much, you may as well talk to him.
Yeah, that paint scheme of that 49 was definitely one you could not take your eyes off tonight. Anthony Musati rolled off tonight, starting 5th. You finished 2nd. You rolled off 3rd on the last restart there, man. Did you think you may have had anything for that win?
I might have. Once I got by Logan, there was just too much of a gap between me and Andrew. So I think maybe if I could have maybe had more laps, it may have been interesting. But Andrew was definitely he was fast tonight.
So we all kind of had the question. We thought we were going to see people come down pit road there towards the end. Did you guys run out of tires?
Yeah, I didn't have a set left. I know some guys had taken some early. I took my last set probably 20 to go. I think it was once we had like 10 laps run within about that 40 lap range. So I didn't have any more sets after that.
Gotcha. Yeah, we just weren't sure because we were fully expecting everyone to come down pit road, and once we saw nobody come down, we were like, oh, maybe they're out. But you come out with a P2 finish. We know P2 is not necessarily where you want to finish, but with the speed we saw Andrew putting on tonight, I would definitely say that finishing P2 is definitely a win, and it definitely is going to help you in the points. It's going to propel you up a little bit further, try to bridge that gap up to Holden McGill and those ahead. So just kind of talk us through your run and what can we expect from you going into Charlotte?
During the practice race the other night, I felt like how the setup was great setup tonight, and just being able to just drive it in and just being able to get to rotate. It was fun. Going forward with Charlotte, I'm all right on 1.5 miles, but I really like to have some off throttle time. That's more my driving style.
No, I understand, because definitely those 1.5 mile tracks, it really just kind of turns into pack racing. You never really know what's going to happen. But before we let you go, what we do know is going to happen is that we're going to give you the floor and let you thank anybody that makes it happen for you.
I'd like to thank my sponsors, Pro Cup Racing Experience, also Quick Pits, and then also my teammates, Ryan Dingler for making this pretty sweet paint scheme tonight, and then both my other teammates, Holden and Grant. Those guys, we work well together.
I gotta agree, that paint scheme, I've said it probably 4 or 5 times, and I'll say it again. One of the best looking paint schemes in the field tonight. And with that being said, congratulations on your second place finish, and good luck going into Charlotte.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
All right, you as well. That is second place finisher Anthony Musati. We're going to hand it down to Andrew Jarvis for our third place finisher Logan Hamilton.
Yeah, we've seen Logan Hamilton be the first one to even remotely challenge Andrew tonight. Logan Hamilton, mind walking us through those the last restart? We've seen you battle with Musati and then the number 69 car there.
Yeah, just trying to hold on. I took 4 when everyone else took none on the yellow at 119, and I honestly thought I was screwed. I'm like, no one else took tires. I'm not going to be able to make my way back through. But I got back up to 4th before the yellow came out, and then stayed out. And I was honestly hoping that they kept wrecking, so I was able to stay out front. But we eventually ended up getting enough of a green flag run to where Andrew, with his insane pace, was able to get me, and I knew after he got past me, I had no shot. And then I didn't really have a shot on the restart, just with Anthony being able to restart behind him and get the better jump.
Yeah, we definitely seen that you didn't take tires. We were actually questioning it because, I mean, you didn't have much to lose, but I mean, it was a valid point. But How are you feeling coming into Charlotte next week? We know that we've seen some drivers have a little practice. Have you had any practice, and how are you feeling coming into next week?
Well, we got next week off for Memorial Day, so it's 2 weeks away. Just sorry, but yeah, I mean, I didn't run great there last year. I think I qualified second and finished 10th, but I really had no idea how to save tires back then. And like I said earlier, it's my home track, so I think I bring a lot of confidence in there. And I think it's just important to keep the momentum up, just going into the playoffs. And we've been good on mile and a half this year. We were top 5 in Atlanta, almost won Texas, and should have won Kansas. So yeah, we've been pretty good at mile and a half. So I think we'll bring a lot of confidence in there and do good.
I'm gonna give you the spotlight now. Anyone you'd like to shout out for tonight?
I want to shout out Tucson Sound Art. Like I said earlier, home race for them. Happy to get them a top 3, back in the top 5 after last week. There's friends and family watching the race. I want to thank Stephen Parrott, Kyle Green, just all my DSR teammates helping me get better and practicing with me throughout the week. And just thank you guys for broadcasting, and the admins of L-TAC for putting on a great dramatic show every week.
Well, congrats on the 3rd place tonight. And also, it was a great race by you, and have a great night, my friend.
Thank you.
That was 3rd place, Logan Hamilton.
Logan Hamilton takes the 3rd place this evening, a podium finish for somebody who's been so good these last few weeks. Let's take a look at our unofficial race results this evening from the Phoenix Raceway. Andrew Navarro dominates things, takes that race win. I mean, just comes out of nowhere, leads 112 laps. There's not much else you can say about that guy, but takes the cake, takes every piece of the cake, takes the bakery, and he'll be taking it back. I cannot believe the domination this evening out of Andrew Navarro. But Anthony Masadi comes up 2nd place. We heard from him. And 3rd place, Logan Hamilton. Peterson comes up just short in 4th. You see McGill there in 5th. Jeremy Berger takes 6th. Bit of a comeback after getting turned early. Joseph falls to 7th though, with Ryan Dingler hanging on for 8th. In the number 8, Brett Fisher closes out with a top 10, just in front of Brian Huntley Jr.
Yeah, in 11th, we had Colin Stone, had a hectic night. Stefan Purcell finishes 12th. TBB have an upset night, finishes 13th. Merrick Watchhorn, not really a good night for him, finishes 14th. Richard Springer, 15th. Ryder Schrauf, 16th after a couple of incidents. Robert Pattengale finishes 17th. 18th, Frank Flores. Kevin Franks, the last car, the lead lap, finishes 19th. Sean Deal rounds out the top 20 in the rest of the field. John Fallon in 21st, and Barrick Uphold 22nd.
We know Barrick Uphold had a start in park, so all things considered, he did pretty well tonight. And then I'm going to pass it to you.
So 156 laps done and dusted this evening. You see the fireworks going off. It was a fantastic little run in race number 17 of 29 this evening. I want to thank all of the partners who make it possible here with Pit Stop TV. Of course, Tucson Sound Art, a home race just down the road in Tucson, Arizona, as opposed to Avondale, Arizona. Make sure to use promo code PitStopTV at checkout for 10% off of your order. It's a fantastic product. I stand by it daily. I'll stand by it till the day I die. The work that Pat and Gail and them put in is incredible. It's a fantastic product. I'll keep saying it. Fabulous, fabulous work they put in. It looks great, sounds great too. Make sure to check out TucsonSoundArt.com. These broadcasts also brought to you by Race Pace Setups. A lot of open setup races are coming up. Be at the Indy 500 this weekend. You've got the Majors Le Mans race coming up soon. We've got the 6 Hours of Watkins Glen coming up. So many different races where these setups could make the difference and propel your team to victory. Make sure to check them out, that Discord link bottom right. Of course, Permanent Makeup in Cryo in Maine, where you deserve the best care that money can buy. Check out what Ashley Bullier and her team of specialists can do for you up in the state of Maine. Whiplash Media, the official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV. And BAM Racing Videos. He's got a full schedule of races this weekend. Make sure to check it out. Facebook. You can check him out at BAM Racing Videos, of course, across the board. Facebook, YouTube, I want to say Instagram as well. He's all over the place. By a race fan for the racing community. Trey, final thoughts this evening from Phoenix.
I mean, other than an absolute clinic by Andrew Navarro, I mean, pretty good race. I mean, Phoenix always provides some good racing. As we said earlier, nighttime is the right time. And these guys put on, excuse me, put on an absolute show tonight. And I don't expect anything less from these guys. So a great way to end a Friday night, go into the weekend, and just, you know, that's really all I got. Just a heads up job by everybody here.
Yeah, all in all, tonight was an amazing race by all drivers considered. I mean, this is like, this race was the one thing I was looking forward to this week, and honestly, it came in with, it exceeded my expectations tonight, and I mean, there's nothing more to really say. It exceeded every expectation I had.
It certainly did that this evening. Again, the Phoenix Raceway never disappoints. The L-TAC Cup Series never disappoints. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season pans out, but for this evening, that will do it for our coverage of the L-TAC Cup Series. We at Pit Stop TV, thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. The channel stays active weekly, and you can always catch a variety of racing throughout the coming days, be it, of course, live racing on demand on our YouTube, Facebook, doesn't matter. Fantastic stuff across the board. We've done so many broadcasts last year. It's been crazy. We've got so many more to come. And some of those coming will be the season finale of Cross Series League Racing this Sunday evening. We've got SCCA Spec Racer Fords at WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, this Sunday evening. Monday, we've got a doubleheader once more with the BRPI Racing Series Pro Dirt Late Models taking to the Bristol Motor Speedway with dirt. Then we hand things off to the Pacific Challenge Cup Series at Road Atlanta. Should be a fun night of doubleheader action with dirt and road. Then Tuesday evening, the Nork iRacing Series is back, this time with Indy cars. Not for points, it is their Indianapolis 500 in 2021. That's 500 miles of action with your favorite Nork iRacing Series stars. TCB, Aaron Smith, Will Klein, Sean Williams, and so many more take to the action for 500 miles. It's 200 laps at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But don't go away. Just wait. That's what I was going for. But wait, there's more, of course. The IRL Indianapolis 500. Two members of our crew this evening, Trey Patton and Trey Shuttlesworth, are in the race for at least the second year running. It's going to be fantastic. We covered it last year. Rick Ray Vaughn went to victory lane in the Indianapolis 500 for the first time in his sim racing career, spanning well over 20 years. Who gets it this year? Make sure to tune in Wednesday, May 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the Indianapolis 1000 next week on Pit Stop TV. Make sure to be here. Make sure to tune in. It's going to be fantastic. You do not want to miss any of it. Make sure to follow us on Facebook as well at www.facebook.com/pitstoptv, on Twitter at pitstoptv_, on Instagram at pit_stop_tv, on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_tv, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1. For all of Pit Stop TV this evening, again, a couple of racers that'll be taken to the racetrack this Wednesday, and Trey Patton and Trey Shuttlesworth on commentary and social media, respectively, and Andrew Jarvis, one of the new guys here on the crew, sticking it out with us on our third seat here for commentary. My name is Andrew Cardinal IV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here with us for this wild ride of an L-TAC Cup Series season. We'll see you next time, and until then, have a fantastic evening.